The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, once again, I'm live. It's good to be in Japan again. It's good to be live again. Today is going to be most certainly a very momentous occasion, a very good day. You know, today is one of the days I've been waiting for since I came to Japan, which is none other than weigh-in day. I'm finally glad today is the weigh-in because for those that know, for those that don't know, if you I don't know if any of you guys have ever been around fighters when they're making weight. But when fighters making weight, they get real moody, they get real pissy, and you gotta be very particular with how you act around them because anything can and will set them off. So I'm very happy that in the case of Angelo Leo, he is gonna be finally making weight today, and from all reports, from all accounts, you know weight is not an issue, and I didn't think it would be because here on Team Leo, we know Angelo, he's consummate professional, always watching his weight, always watching what he's doing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him get on the scale. I'm really looking forward to finally, like, we've been here all these days in Osaka, finally seeing this guy Tomoki Kameda in person, man. I want to see him in person. I want to see what the aura looks like and those kind of things, and see like what just size him up a little bit, because we haven't had a chance to see him. He lives in Osaka, so he's not staying at our hotel. They had separate media workouts where we didn't see him, so it's gonna be finally good to size him up. And as always, tomorrow is obviously the big day, the biggest one out of them all. Tomorrow is going to be fight night, where Angelo Leo defends the belt against Kameda, and obviously we expect Kameda to be his best. And really and truthfully, it's been a great experience so far because I follow a lot of Japanese boxing, as many of you guys know. I'm the number one source of Japanese boxing in America. So I'm always following the build up to these fights in Japan, the big build ups, the big fights in Japan. And I've never seen a foreign fighter, honestly. And I'm not saying this just because Angelo's my friend and I'm part of the team. I'm being dead honest. I have never seen a foreign fighter get the amount of support that Angelo has gotten this weekend, or this whole week, in the build up to this fight. Whether it's going out to the supermarket, whether it's going out to just reading my comment section, reading the comment section of these videos on Abima TV. It's just been an overwhelming amount of support for him. So it's crazy. I think as long as he goes in there and performs the way I know he's capable of, and the way he did it in his last fight and his last couple of fights, I think that the possibilities are endless. He's getting a lot of support here in Japan. So yeah, the weigh-in won't be for like another 4 hours, right? I probably really should be sleeping right now because I didn't go to sleep that early. But I want to watch the Panthers game. The Panthers play at 9 o'clock here in Japan time, so I'm getting this live in, being responsible, talking to you guys, making some content, and yeah, get your comments in, guys. It don't gotta be Angelo Kameda related. I mean, the boxing world is so much bigger than just Angelo and Kameda right now, but right now that is the focus. But if you guys got your comments, if you guys want to chime in and talk some boxing, feel free to leave a comment down below. Definitely gonna be here for probably at least an hour. I just came in to check in with you guys, so I don't have these long drops. You guys know that in the past I've had these long drops where I don't go live because one day becomes two, 2 days becomes seven, and before you know it, I've gone a month without going live. So I'm doing my best to not go ahead and do that. By the way, um, I don't know if I know I'm not sure who in my audience has TikTok, right? I don't know who in my audience has TikTok, but I finally caved in as of last night. I finally caved in and made a TikTok because funny enough, right? Like last night, um, I was getting ready to go to sleep, and I get a text from Angelo, right? Normally when I get texts from Angelo around this time, I'm expecting them to be related to his fight. Weight, logistics of stuff. Angelo literally texted me at like, what was it, like 2 in the morning, 2 or 3 in the morning. He was texting me talking about, yeah, man, they're using your videos on TikTok. You gotta go ahead and you gotta go ahead and you gotta go ahead and make a TikTok, right? So I finally made a TikTok. I'll start posting on there really soon. You know, Angelo's been trying to get me to get on TikTok for like a solid year. And I just don't want to do it because I'm on enough social media. So, but fuck it, why not? I'll be in Japan. I'll be in. Listen, I'm gonna be in Japan for at least another month. So I figured maybe I'll do an experiment and see like, okay, let's see how I do on TikTok. You know, I'll have enough good content to put on TikTok, new content to put on TikTok. So it'd be a fun experience. We got our first comment from Kyo. He says, "Bro, where's Angelo Leo? He's my idol. Good luck in his fight." Angelo's probably asleep, you know, on another floor where we're staying, and in a matter of hours, it'll be the weigh-in. So yeah, I'm just here early to talk to you guys, talk some boxing, you know, get you guys' questions in. If y'all got questions, y'all got thoughts, y'all got concerns, leave them down below, and definitely smash that like button. Listen, I know we got 8 people here. Don't be stingy, man. Smash that like button. I'm sacrificing sleep to be in this live right now, so help me out and help this video get out to as many people as humanly possible, and smash that like button because this will help YouTube let YouTube know that you guys like True School Sports, you guys like the content, and you guys want to see more of the content here on True School Sports. So yeah, man, I'm looking very forward to it, man. Everybody in Osaka's treated us great. Is the shout out to Mark? He says, "Is the fight going to be live on ProBox?" Yes, from everything that's out there, the fight is going to be live on ProBox. They've been saying it on ProBox. You know, yeah, Gary Jonas, I think, is staying about a couple floors above me, and his son is staying a couple doors down from me. And they both told me that the fight is going to be on ProBox. Gary Jonas and ProBox, they don't. Gary Jonas doesn't just travel all the way to Japan for nothing. So if he's traveling here to Japan for something, then you can best believe that he's doing it because you know, he's gonna have his fighter on his platform on ProBox. So yeah, by all accounts, yes. Where is Angelo Leo? I've already answered the question. Angelo Leo is on another floor, sleeping. You know, I'm just here to talk. The weigh-in will be at what? The weigh-in's probably gonna be like a what at 10 or 11. So about 4 hours. So the weigh-in will probably be up. He'll probably be up in like 2 hours. By that time, I'll probably be done with this live and, you know, get ready for the weigh-in myself. But yeah, listen, if y'all if this live don't pick up in these next like 15-20 minutes, you know, I'm gonna get off here because it looks like nobody cares. Nobody cares about BT today. So fuck it. If the live don't pick up in the next like 10 to 15 minutes, I'm just gonna dip. But Kyo says, "What is my fight prediction for Angelo Leo versus Kameda?" So I'm gonna drop a video later giving some more detailed thoughts on, you know, the fight, my fight analysis, and my prediction. I'll give my prediction right here. My prediction for the fight is I got Angelo Leo stopping Tomoki Kameda in the 7th round. I think 7th round, that's about right, you know, because I think Kameda is gonna be really aggressive. I think he's gonna be very aggressive. I think if he wanted to go deeper into the fight, he'd have to have a better, more educated jab. He doesn't. You know, he's gonna be very, very aggressive. So I think, yeah, I think his over aggression and the fact that he doesn't have an elite jab or just an above average jab to speak of is going to be his ultimate undoing. He's very aggressive. He's got very good speed, but and really good work rate. But that he's going to need more than that in this fight. And I think it's going to be his undoing. He says, "Bro, tell Angelo he's my idol," and I will tell Angelo. I've been telling Angelo about all these comments, good and bad. I think a lot of these comments are really interesting. Much love and support from the Philippines. Shout out to the Filipino people. The Filipino people have always been great to me here on True School Sports and in real life. So, you know, I appreciate everybody from the Philippines that has you know, always shown love and interacted. Muniz Gamble says, "Why doesn't Angelo Leo get no credit for beating people who are considered the boogeyman of 126?" That's a great question, man. You know, I'm not a complainer. I don't like to bitch and moan, but this is a comment that I've asked myself many times. It's like, because I remember being in training camp. I was there in New Mexico with Angelo for 5 weeks in New Mexico. So, you know, normally he'd go train, and then we'd come back and we'd have all this downtime at nighttime, right? And I would watch a lot of videos, a lot of content regarding the Venado Lopez Angelo fight. And I vividly remember one particular video where it was Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera. They sat down and they were doing like a collaboration video, and they were already talking about Venado Lopez versus Espinoza like it was a foregone conclusion. They made a whole 13-minute video, and they didn't even mention Angelo Leo, right? And then everyone was talking about Venado Lopez is the Road Warrior. A lot of people at that time, less than a year ago, were saying that he's the number one featherweight in the world. Then when Angelo knocks him out, a lot of people want to discredit the win and say, you know what? No, he wasn't that good. His chin was up in the air. It was anybody could have landed that punch. It was bound to happen. So it's just a bunch of revisionist history. I'll tell you this, all right? I'm gonna give you guys a fact here. I'm not gonna tell you how I know or how I know what I know, but I'm gonna tell you something that not that I think, but I'm gonna tell you something that I know. So you better open your ears up and listen up real good, because you may not agree with it, but this is a fact, and I know this, right? So we all know that Naoya Inoue is down at 122, right? He's down at 122. Everybody in boxing is fully anticipating a move up to featherweight for him at some point in time. Uh, Probably maybe late next year, sometime next year, right? That being said, I know for a fact that the people that run the Monster's career had zero interest in fighting Venado Lopez. I don't care what you've read. I don't care what you think. I'm telling you what I know. That was not a fight. Venado Lopez was not a fight that people in the Inoue camp were enthusiastic about. They didn't like the unorthodox style. They didn't like the unpredictability that style brought. And that was a fight that they were not going to go ahead and just be so quick to take. I'm going to tell you that as a fact, an insider fact that I know. Don't ask how I know, but I know. So yeah, I just think what it comes down to answer your question, Mooney's Gamble, I think what it comes down to is the fact that it all comes down to marketing, right? So when a promotional company is always marketing a fighter, and has a lot of propaganda out on certain fighters, then people will tend to, I guess, create narratives a bit more for those fighters. Now when it's a fighter who maybe isn't out there as much, it isn't as pushed by certain promotional companies, then I think sometimes they're a bit slower to get credit. And in this case with Angelo, I think that is the case. I do think though, I do think this Kameda fight is gonna turn a corner because he's getting a lot of fanfare here in Japan. A lot of people don't like Kameda, so he's already well liked in Japan, and people don't like Kameda. So if he beats Kameda and looks great, which I think he's going to, you're talking about him elevating his star power, not just in America, not just in the boxing world, but we're talking about international superstardom, something that a lot of guys in boxing from the States don't have. So it's this fight is big in that regard. Are you and Leo gonna go to Norman versus Sasaki? That's a great question. I know Angelo's gonna go back to the States for after the fight. I do know that he has expressed to me that he does want to come back to Japan and go see more of it after his fight. I'm not sure if he'll be back for the Sasaki Norman fight, but I think he could be back in Japan just to come visit sooner than you think. So, either way, the important thing is tomorrow and getting that job done. As far as me going to Norman Sasaki, yes, I'm definitely gonna go. I'm definitely going to Norman versus Sasaki. I'll just say it here right now, guys, because a lot of people have been asking me like, how long am I gonna stay in Japan? Am I going to this fight? Am I gonna go to that fight? Now, look, I don't know if I'll go to. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I'll go to Masanori Rikishi versus Eduardo Sugar Nunez. I'm not sure if I'll go to that fight. I'm not sure if I'll go to Junta versus Nishida, but I'm definitely gonna go to Jin Sasaki versus Brian Norman Jr. So if you're in Japan, you can expect me to be here for another month. What I can say is this: I'm gonna start like a GoFundMe or something because, you guys know I've been going back to Japan. And I've been doing a lot of traveling this year, the last 6 months. So I might need to start one of those GoFundMes to stay in Japan so I can do as much as I can because I'm gonna need it. But you know what? God has blessed me. God has blessed me immensely. Whether I'm rich or not, and I'm not rich right now, but I will be. I think in the near future, I think I will be. I'm very very well off. God always provides me what I need to get to do what I need to do what I need to do for the boxing fans. So I'm really just grateful for everything. Shout out to my man Jazz. He says, "Let's go, Angelo. Tell him to knock out Inoue next." Listen, we would love the opportunity. Inoue is a great fighter, and who wouldn't want to fight Naoya Inoue? Obviously, I feel like we gotta do a little more to earn it, and this is one of the things we can do to earn it, which is big Angelo a bigger star in Japan by having a great performance tomorrow. So yeah, um, I'll let him know. In the Inoue fight, I think if he fights Angelo, and he fought with the left hand, he's going to sleep just like Bernardo Lopez. I definitely agree with you. And I'll tell you this, not to like I'm just being honest. I've always believed in Angelo in the Inoue fight. I didn't need to see Inoue get dropped by Cardenas to believe in Angelo. Like for example, there's a video on this channel from like 5 years ago, me talking about Angelo Leo being the man to beat Inoue, right? And I still believe that, and he's gotten better since that fight. I just think at featherweight he can beat anybody. I think this is his weight class, and you got to be someone's truly special to beat him. So in a way, is very very special. But I just think at featherweight he can't beat Angelo. But I hope it happens. I hope that fight happens, and I hope we get the opportunity as a team to prove what I'm saying to be true. So yeah. If Angelo beats Kameda, he's going to be like a hero from what I see. I see that we don't like Kameda down in Japan. No, they don't. I mean, it's crazy. We go out to eat here in Osaka. People are giving us a big clap. We're getting hugs. We're just getting like the best treatment in the world because Kameda. I mean, every gym we've gone to in Japan, Kameda got a problem with everybody in every gym we visited so far. So I don't know like what he. I know he's brought dishonor to Japan and he's done all kinds of crazy stuff, but I didn't think it was like this. It's worse than I thought it was. Do I have a prediction for Pedro Tajiron versus Jinjiro Shigeoka? Yes, very good fight, man. Looking forward to seeing those guys today too. Hopefully, I can maybe get something on one of them before we leave. But yeah, no, Jinjiro Shigeoka, Pedro Tajiron. Obviously, two all-action fighters, two guys that come to bring all the smoke. Shigeoka fights in that real mid-range, disciplined, explosive, measured Japanese style out of the southpaw stance. But the thing is, I don't think that style can work against Pedro. Pedro is a bigger minimum weight. I believe he's about 4 inches taller, with about 3 to 4 inches in reach advantage. So I think Jinjiro is gonna have to make some adjustments to his style. Maybe instead of fighting in the mid range, trying to be explosive, maybe mix some things up. Maybe get underneath the shots and look to counter. I think that'll be his best path to victory. But I don't think he's gonna fight that way. I think he's gonna try to stick with what he knows, and I think he's gonna stay at the mid range. And I think that's gonna play right into Pedro Tajiron's hands. So I'm looking at a repeat performance for Pedro Tajiron, and I think Pedro Tajiron retains the title and beats the brakes off Shigeoka. But good fight, good fight for sure. TSM Harden says, "Am I nervous for the fight?" You know what? It's crazy. Like maybe today when I get to the weigh-in, I'll get a little bit nervous. Maybe on fight night I'll get a little bit nervous. But if you're asking me right now, no, I'm not nervous. And I think the reason I'm not nervous, being honest with you guys, is because I'm not nervous because I know I've seen what Angelo's been doing in that gym. And he's just I know everybody says this. Like I know because I hate when I watch other people like trainers and people from other camps say shit like this. But I really mean this when I say it. Like he looks like level, or he's like 2 levels above the guy that fought Fernando Lopez. I think since he won that fight, being around Angelo, and we're really close. Like the biggest thing I can say about Angelo since he won that fight is the word I would use is he's more like self-assured. Like he knows he belongs here now. There's not a question. Like he knows he belongs here. He knows he's one of the best featherweights in the world and one of the best fighters in the world. And that fight has done a lot for his confidence. That fight has done a lot for just even his work ethic. A lot of these fighters, they win a title and they get a little success. They become champion again, and then they let off the gas. They let off the handle. They don't work as hard. Angelo's He's worked even harder, and he's got a great team around him. He's got people like Miguel Leo, who I believe is one of the best trainers in boxing. Making sure that he doesn't overwork himself, because with a guy like Angelo, you got to make sure he doesn't get overworked. And then you got coach of champs, Jonathan Balgame, great conditioning coach, Luis Chavez, one of the most astute boxing minds there is in the world. So it's a great team. They've done a good job of not letting him overwork himself. But yeah, he's an even different fighter now than when he fought Fernando Lopez. It's a different guy now, and it's better. Angelo Leo versus Carrington. Will we ever um will will that fight ever happen at 126? I think that fight will happen at 126. It's funny. I've had conversations on Instagram, like personal conversations with Shushu Carrington about his career, and because we do follow each other, we do know each other, and I love Shushu. I love the kind of person he is. I love what he brings to boxing. I love what he brings to the featherweight division. I don't think him and Leo are gonna fight until he gets a belt. I think the route I think he's gonna go is either the WBC route or the WBO route. So expect him to either fight maybe like Ray Vargas or Carlos Castro for the WBC belt once Fulton inevitably vacates, or expect him to fight Rafael Espinoza. If he wins one of those belts, then I think you get a scenario where you get a unification fight between Shushu and Angelo, which I think has the makings of a big time fight because Shushu is probably the best marketed fighter in the featherweight division. Like he does a great job of promoting himself on social media, and he's a good fighter too. And then Angelo, he's starting to get more notoriety with these fights against Bernardo Lopez and now Kameda. So if Angelo does his job and Shushu does his job, I could see that fight happening sometime next year. And I think that's probably when I look at the landscape of the featherweight division, that's probably one of the top maybe like 5 fights that could be made. I think in the featherweight division, of the fighters right now, you know. So yeah, Castro versus Carrington is going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I want to see how he does in that fight. Carlos Castro's no pushover. He's no slouch. We saw he dropped Stephen Fulton, and a lot of people thought he won that fight. It was a close fight. Stephen Fulton was able to win that fight, but Castro's no pushover. So I think that fight's a fight where Shushu has to exercise a little bit of the demons from the Suleiman Sagawa fight and really like finally announce himself to the world as one of the best featherweights. Um, so yeah, that'd be a good one. Hopefully, they get a date lined up for that one because that fight hasn't been formally announced by Top Rank. We're just we're really and truthfully just like waiting for them to finalize it. Um, by the way, my man Naruto says he's got Kameda. Okay, he's going with the upset. He's going with Tomoki Kameda. Okay, shout out to you. A lot of people ain't picking Kameda, so that's good. Gotta have somebody pick Kameda. I don't want this to feel like Kameda by KO. Kameda is in his hometown. He's got a lot to fight for, so I don't underestimate him. I'm not gonna sit here and downplay him. He was a world champion, and he defended his belt 3 times when he was champion. And he had a long, hard, arduous road to get back to this point to become the mandatory challenger. So he's gonna have some pride and want to prove some things to some people. So, and then he's got Pedro Tajon by KO. Okay, good fighters. I'm very curious how Kameda will look. Have you seen Kameda spar at all, BT? I haven't seen Kameda spar. I haven't. I never even met Kameda in person. Today at the weigh-in will be the first time I see Kameda in person. So I'm looking forward to that, getting my first look at him. But I've watched him fight enough, and I'll tell you this: I've never seen him spar in person, but I've been shown, and I have seen the Angelo Leo Kameda sparring footage from I believe it was a year and a half to 2 years ago because they sparred 2 times. It's on I think Angelo's dad's phone, and I've seen it. So I've seen what I needed to see. I want to see the winner of Tajuan versus Shigioka fight the winner in the main event. Nah, that's not happening. That's weight classes, champ. They got weight classes for a reason, so that's not happening. But that's a fun thought. Have the plans for Japan, for the Japan trip, been solidified if Angelo wins yet, BT? I have my own plans for the trip. After I'm not sure when my departure date is gonna be from Japan. I just know that I'm gonna be here at least till June 19th because I'm gonna stay for Jin Sasaki versus Brian Norman Jr. How long I stay after that, I don't know, but I can tell you I'll be here till June 19th. So as far as what I'm gonna do in between there, I mean, I got some things in mind that I would like to go do and like to go see, but right now, all I'm focused on and on my only focus is tomorrow and making sure that we get the job done. I feel like more than any other Angelo fight, because me and Angelo and his dad have been cool. We've been cool since about I think the first time I ever really talked to them on the phone or in person was like just before the Tremaine Williams fight. I remember we talked on the phone a couple times going into that fight, And we maintain our friendship has grown out throughout the years, throughout the fights, and throughout the different stages of his career. And the last like I'd say 3 fights is when we've gotten like really really close, like to now to where like I'm an active part, like a integral part of the team. So I would say that I'm not really worried about none of that. I'm not worried about what comes next. It's just about winning this fight because this fight means everything. The big fights can't come if we don't win this one. And in my mind, this is a big fight because if you just compare, if you compare the other featherweight champions and who their first title defenses were against, Tomoki Kameda is on a much better level than the guys that Espinoza and Ball picked in their first title defenses. And that's not being biased. You guys tell me. Espinoza defended his belt against Sergio Chirino Sanchez, who really and truthfully was a cannon fodder, lower top 15 contender, whose biggest fight previous to Espinoza, he quit against Mauricio Lara in a fight back in 2018. That's who Espinoza defended the belt against first. Nick Ball defended the belt against Ronnie Rios, who's a decent fighter at 122, but has never really won the big one at 122 and was a blown up guy who they brought up to featherweight. Tomoki Kameda is a former world champion, a veteran of over 45 fights, and he earned his way to become the IBF mandatory. And by the way, the IBF mandatory spot is the most legitimate one in boxing because they're actually the only ones that enforce the mandatories and actually allow guys with big names or not so big names to have the same opportunity to become mandatory challengers. So with that being said, I think it's night and day. He's fighting tougher competition than these guys, and it's showing in his performances, and I think it's going to show in the greatest way come tomorrow night. And I think like for this camp in particular, the role that God of course has allowed me to play in this camp for this fight, I've shouldered a lot. I've done a good part for the team here, and I feel like more than any other Angelo fight, this is just as much my fight as the other ones, and I feel like this for all of Angelo's fights, but this one's a little bit different for me. So, yeah. How is Jin's energy now that he has the fight? I haven't seen Jin since we left Tokyo. But I do text back with the chairman of the gym. I was texting the chairman of the gym just yesterday, and by all accounts, he's doing fine. He's doing very very well, and I'm looking forward to seeing him versus Brian Norman Jr. Is Pete Dobson the sparring partner you got for Jin? Yes. Now that it's out there, I can say it. Now that Jin posted the picture, I can say it. Yes, Pete Dobson was the guy that I brought in for sparring for Jin Sasaki. That is correct. Yes. We had so now I have a video coming out on this later where I speak about this in an extended form, but I'll give you the gist of what I said in the video. When I was setting up my appointments for Angelo Leo to train at that gym, the guy from the gym that owns the gym had asked me. He said, "Hey, is there anybody from Team Leo that could spar Jin?" Right? So I gave him one name. I gave him Eric Lanzis Jr., who's a 140 pounder, but he's not a black guy. And I want to make it very clear: these guys, the Jin Sasaki's people, they made it clear that they wanted a black guy. They wanted a black fighter because they're fighting a black fighter. So I gave him Eric Lanzis Jr., who's like an 11-2, 7 knockouts, 140 pounder, good puncher. They said he was too light, and they wanted a black guy, right? So then I gave them the second name I gave them was Pete Dobson. They said, yes, we want Pete Dobson. He's perfect. But then there was a whole thing going on with Pete Dobson because he had a fight coming up on June 3rd, right? Which he's now not going to take. I got word yesterday he's not going to take that fight. He's going to cancel that fight and stay in Japan a week longer. But then there was a whole thing about he got a job as a firefighter, so then he had to get time off of work. So then I wasn't even sure if Pete Dobson was going to be the sparring partner for Jin. So then I started going through other names. I gave them Eric Tudor as a name. I gave them Ian Green. The middleweight was a name I gave them because Ian Green sparred Terrence Crawford. And then I also gave them Lazaro Medina, 2-0, 54 pounders. So they didn't want those guys. They were insistent on Pete. And then once Pete Dobson got time off from his job and whatnot, I kind of went back and forth for about 5 days between the chairman of the gym and Pete Dobson exchanging information and putting things together, organizing a driver in Japan so Pete can get picked up from the airport, all that stuff. So it was pretty cool, and it's been pretty cool to help one of. It's been a dream for Pete Dobson to come to Japan. He's been telling me about it for 2 years, and it was nice to put that together for Pete Dobson and also help a fighter that I like very much in Jintazaki. So making dreams come true here on True School Sports. True School Sports uniting the world of boxing. You love to see it. So yeah, there's that story. Um, they said Jin done locked himself up in that hyperbolic time chamber. Yeah, they have a lot of those here in Japan. One of the gyms we were training at in Osaka has like an oxygen hyperbolic chamber. So they got a lot of those in the gym. So yeah, that's not surprising. How's your day in the life? How is your day in the life of Japan? Life is good out here, man. I love Japan. I don't know when. I'm not gonna force it, but I think in the near future, at some point, I'm gonna move to Japan, guys. It's starting to feel like I have to be. It's starting to feel more and more like I'm not visiting, and that I'm home, and that I need to be living here. And it's starting to feel more realistic with each passing visit and each passing day as I meet more people and I get more connections and these kind of things. So don't be surprised in the next 12 to 24 months if you see True School Sports move to Japan. You know. Lord Zed says, I'm stoked for this BT. Congrats. Thank you, Lord Zed, and a pleasure to see you as always. Guts and Glory says, do you think Raymond Ford and Albert Bell will fight, or is it just Twitter beef? I think if it were left up to those guys, they would fight. But Albert Bell is about as high risk, low reward as you can get in boxing. So will Eddie Hearn be keen on doing the Albert Bell fight? I don't think so. I think they're going to angle for the winner of Rikishi versus Sugar Nunez, especially if the winner is Sugar Nunez, because he's already a matchroom boxing promoted fighter. So a lot of these guys at 130, they don't want to touch Albert Bell with a 10-foot pole, because Albert Bell is a very hard guy to beat. He's got good size for the weight class. He can box. And Albert Bell, really and truthfully, is there's not a lot of money in fighting him. So that's why he can't get the fights. And I hate to sound like that. I'm just telling you how the boxing game goes. I can give you the real, or I can give you the fake. I try to give you the real, and not be so delusional about boxing. Shushu won't fight Angelo Leo because he holds the IBF belt, which has a weight rehydration limit of 10 pounds. Bruce Carrington is weight bullying. Well, that's a good point. I do think that's a reason why he's not calling him out as much as the other guys. But that's what I'm saying. I think if they fight, it'll be in a unification scenario, because if it's a unification fight and you got the other sanctioning bodies involved, then the 10-pound rehydration clause is not in play. That's why I think Jerron Ennis versus Stanianis, why he performed so well, because he didn't have the rehydration clause, and he could fully rehydrate and retain more of his energy and strength. So it's the same principle there with him. David Esther says, Boachuk knocks a durable dude with the most short, effortless hook I've ever seen in my life, and then manages to not stop Fox. Jesus Christ, dude, I lost a lot of money. Yeah, that's boxing though. That's how boxing goes. That's how the game goes. You can't. It's hard to predict these things. Things don't make sense. That's why they call it the theater of the unexpected. Yeah. It's your boy BT, Brendan Taylor, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. Guys, do me a favor. There's 28 of you here. Don't be stingy. Smash that like button. I'm trying. Let's try to get this live to 50 likes minimum before I get off, because smash that like button so this video gets pushed out to as many people as humanly possible. And some other people can come on True School Sports and tune in and see what I'm saying and get their questions in. There might be somebody out there that can't even find a real proper boxing channel, and your likes and the algorithms might actually help somebody find my channel and my videos and those kind of things. So definitely do that, and that'd be greatly appreciated. And let me know what city, what state, what continent you're watching from. Let me know in the chat. Are you in America? Are you in Japan? Are you in England? Are you in Europe? Are you somewhere else? Let me know, man. You guys know I'm at. In my opinion, if we're talking about the big cities in Japan, we're in the greatest city of them all in Japan. And much respect to Tokyo. I love Tokyo. Tokyo is amazing, but I love Osaka, man. Osaka is it. Osaka is very lively. Osaka, I love the people here. This is if when I move to Japan, because I think it's gonna be not a matter of if anymore, but when. Whenever that is, whether it be a year, 6 months, 3 years from now, whenever. Osaka is one of the top 3 cities I'd probably live in. Osaka, Mito. I like Mito a lot because it's very relaxing. And yeah, I think Osaka's dope. That's where I'm at. Osaka, Japan, the home of the Kameda brothers. Um, it's about to become the unofficial home of Angelo Leo after Saturday night. And you know what's crazy, guys. I'm gonna tell you this. So I don't know if you guys have been watching my YouTube shorts. There's been a lot of interesting YouTube shorts, right? And on one of the YouTube shorts, there was a video of Koki Kameda, you know, the former world champion, and the promoter for you know the Kameda Promotions. He was saying that like he wants to maintain a good relationship with Miguel Leo and Team Leo because he wants to do business with not just Angelo but some of the fighters on the team. He's interested in some of the fighters that are on Team Leo, such as Fernando Paredes, who's sleeping right now on the bed over there. Joseph Macedo, good fighters, man. So I'm telling you, he fights how we know he could fight. Osaka might fuck around and become the home of, or not just Osaka, but Japan in general might become the second home of Angelo Leo. Um, we got the homies X2 says 505 in the building. Listen, we got a lot of new Burqueños in the building, a lot of New Mexicans. We got uh, Farmington, Puro Burque. It's right. Shout out to Albuquerque. I love the fine folks in New Mexico, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, you know, the whole New Mexico. What's up, BT? This is Luis Chavez from California. Uncle Luis Chavez's nephew. Yeah, hey, listen. Much love to you. Much love to the OG. Listen. Um, I tried doing a interview with them. I'm gonna do another interview with Miguel and Luis Chavez. Probably after the fight. You know, and do a proper one with better audio because I tried doing it on a live one day and it didn't work out the way I thought it would. So, listen, Luis Chavez. A lot of the boxing fans don't know Luis Chavez, but Luis Chavez is one of the best trainers out there, one of the best coaches in boxing. A lot of these coaches can't even build a fighter from the ground up to become a world champion once. Luis Chavez did it 4 times. 2 times with Danny Romero, 2 times with Angelo Leo. That's two different fighters, 4 world champions. Great trainer, great boxing mind, greater person. One of my favorite people in this entire world is Luis Chavez. I love that guy. Um, are we getting new Japanese interviews? Yes. Once all this is done, and then once I get with my translator, my boy Taihei, um, I'll start making my appointments. I'm not sure who I'll get yet. I'm not sure who I'll get yet for the next interviews. I have a couple of names in mind, but you know, right now, that's not something that I'm like thinking about, like actively. Um, Melbourne, Australia, in the building. Yes, yes. Shout out to Melbourne. Who do I got between Hayato Tsutsumi and Vaquero Navarrete? Great fight. Great fight. Two amazing fighters. I think Vaquero is slipping. I think Navarrete is slipping. Hayato will take him out right now, I think. Um, what are the top 5 Japanese interviews that you want that you don't have already? That's a good question. I'll tell you a couple of them. So I'll say uh, one of them I just met the other day because he's at the gym we train at. Katsunori Takayama, the 5-time minimum weight champion. I want to get him on the channel for an official interview. Him, Masamichi Ibuki, who I was supposed to interview last time I was here, but it just didn't line up. Him, who else? Maybe yeah, Ibuki, Takayama, um, Kyle Suke Takami, the 108-pound fighter who just fought him. He's another one. Who else is there? Oh, Sora Tanaka, the Mike Tyson of Yokohama, the welterweight prospect. I like him a lot. And then probably Yuta Sakai, Ohashi boxing fighter. Ohashi boxing fighter. I believe 115 or 118. They're saying that kid's gonna be like the next face of Ohashi boxing gym once Inoue is done. So yeah, uh, Takayama, Takayama, Yabuki, Sora Tanaka, and Sakai, and I forgot the other one. But yeah, those guys for sure. Those are all guys I want to interview soon. Top 5. Oh yeah, I said that already. Seiya Tsutsumi, the champion in recess. He has an ing. Are you going to interview him again? Yeah, I would love to interview Seiya Tsutsumi. While I'm out here, you know, he's a friend of the channel. You know, a friend of the program. Probably one of my favorite fighters in boxing. Period. Um, he says, bro, interview Subaru Murata. He's a good job. I've interviewed Subaru Murata in the past. I know Subaru. Like, we follow each other on Instagram. I talk to him here and there. I know he fought. I know Subaru fought the other day. He fought the other day, and yeah, for sure. I think Subaru Murata would be a good one. I like Subaru, and I think he's gonna be a champion at 122 one day. But I want to know when do they plan on finally giving him a step up fight, because I know for 100% fact that there has been fights that have been turned down, not because of Subaru but because of Mr. Honda. I don't know with who, so don't ask me with who. But I'm saying I've heard through the grapevine of very trusted people I know in boxing that they've had step up fights offered to them, and they turned it down to take other fights. I just don't know who they've been with, but yeah, at some point, like, he's getting to that point where the rubber is meeting the road, and he has to fight somebody. Ooh, who do I think is a better prospect, Aoi Yokoyama or Reito Tsutsumi? That's a great question. A lot of people are really high on Reito Tsutsumi, and rightfully so. He brings a lot to the table. But personally, as a prospect, I don't think there's a prospect I like in Japan more than Aoi Yokoyama. I think Aoi Yokoyama might be my favorite prospect in Japan in terms of excitement and potential. And there's a lot right now. There's so many Japanese, like, prospects, guys. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to even keep up. But there's a lot. But like to me, if I made a list of my top prospects in Japan, he'd be number one. Um, when did Seiya get injured? He got injured. Hand history, Vaughn. Good to see you again. He got injured versus the war with Daigo Higa. Yes, that fight. That's when he got injured. Um, My man Fee says, I hope you get a Team Jintazaki jacket for helping him. You can hang it up on your wall with the Leo. I'll love to. If they gave it to me, I'd be honored to have a Jintazaki jacket. I love Jintazaki as a fighter. I've gotten to know him on a very minor level because there's a language barrier, and we've only seen each other maybe like a handful of times in person. But I got a lot of love for what he brings to the sport, and just for he's a different type of Japanese fighter in terms of his personality and how he goes about things. So I've always appreciated just his uniqueness and what he's bringing to the sport. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I am picking Brian Norman Jr. to win. I want. I'm even though I helped Jin, I'm still being unbiased. I think defensively he still got to clean some things up. I'll be back in Tokyo in about a week to go watch him spar Pete Dobson, and I'll have a better idea of what he's looking like in about a week. But yeah, man, if he can clean his defense up even a little bit, then I give him a better chance to win, because he's got the power, he's got the speed, he's got the determination, the volume. He's got the ingredients to beat Brian Norman Jr. It's just, will his defense be cleaned up enough, to actually accomplish that? We'll see. Um, Seiya Tsutsumi became one of my favorite fighters just because he likes Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I mean, a lot of fighters like Dragon Ball Z. I know Mikita Nakano, in my interview with him after his American debut, stated that he loves Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is popular amongst the Japanese fighters, yes. Um, Deuce09 says, you might have already touched on this, but how did your relationship with Angelo Leo become? That's a great question, man. So I'll tell you guys the condensed version of the story. So we're at the 44-minute mark. So I'll try to keep this at 3 minutes, right? So we have a mutual friend. Me and Angelo Leo have a mutual friend, and our mutual friend is a guy by the name of Jonathan Cortijo, or Johnny. And you guys may know Johnny. He's been in a couple of the videos here on True School Sports. Johnny is like probably he's one of Angelo Leo's closest friends on this earth. One of them. I don't know if he's his best friend, but he's very close to Angelo. I would definitely say he's probably one of his best friends for sure. So I remember it was the summer of 2019, and I remember I got a call from Johnny, and Johnny and me were just talking boxing, and he's like, hey BT, what do you think? Have you heard of Angelo Leo? And I said, no. Who is Angelo Leo, right? And he told me to go watch his fight. He had a fight coming up, so I watched one of his fights. I believe he fought. It was either Neil John Tabanow or Mark John Yap. It was one of those fights. I watched it, and then I gave him my opinion on Angelo. And the funny thing is, at first I was like, oh yeah, he's a good pressure fighter, good volume, he's well conditioned, but yeah, he's solid. Like I didn't think Angelo was no special fighter the first time I seen him fight. But then yeah, as time goes on, like right before Angelo, like maybe in a couple months before Angelo was getting ready to fight Tremaine Williams, because initially it was actually supposed to be Fulton first. It was supposed to be Fulton first. It got switched out, right? And they didn't know much about Tremaine Williams. Angelo and his dad did not know a lot about Tremaine Williams, but Johnny knew that I knew about Tremaine Williams because I had done some videos on Tremaine Williams in the past. And Tremaine Williams was a good fighter. I liked Tremaine Williams a lot. Like I thought he had very big potential as a prospect. He had some problems with the law and inactivity because of him being in and out of jail, stymied his career. But Johnny knew that I knew about Tremaine Williams. So maybe like I'm gonna say a week and a half to 2 weeks before that fight happened, I got a call from Johnny and he put me on the phone with Angelo Leo and Miguel, and we kind of just like I kind of just gave him some of my thoughts on Tremaine Williams, my impressions on Tremaine Williams, and they took whatever I told them, and then, along with what they already saw on tape, and they went in there and they beat him to become the world champion, and that's kind of how it started. And then obviously he lost to Fulton, and then I think where me and Angelo got really close was that 2.5 year period when he wasn't fighting, when he was, maybe the promotions had him on the shelf in a bad contract. He couldn't get out the contract, and he was just, just working diligently in the gym. That's where me and him got really close. And yeah, for those of you who really watch this channel, you guys may even remember. Um, I actually had Angelo Leo and Johnny. They actually did a whole live fight reaction for the Teofimo Lopez George Kambosos Jr. fight. So if you guys go back in this video archive, if you go on YouTube and you type in Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos Jr. live fight reaction, True School Sports, if you can find that live fight reaction, you'll see the whole live is literally Angelo Leo and Johnny. I'm not even in it because I was at the Stephen Fulton Brandon Figueroa fight that day. So that's a fun fact there. But yeah, just like that, and I think as he grew in boxing and I grew in boxing, I think it just naturally became a thing. I remember like maybe I'm gonna say 4 or 5 months before Angelo signed with Pro Box. I remember being in his house, and his dad and him didn't know anything about Pro Box. So they're like Brendan and BT, what do you think about Pro Box? Do you know anything about them? And I'm like, yeah, I know the whole staff. I know Daniel Rubin. I know Chris Glover. I know Gary Jonas, and I actually had to have been at least one of the first people, if not the first person, that pitched them the idea of going to Pro Box, of being like, hey, they're an upcoming company, their stock's on the rise. I think this is going to be a great way for Angelo to get his name out there. Yeah, sure, you won't make the money that you made fighting, on Top Rank or or Showtime, but it'll even itself out. You'll get to fight a lot. You'll get a bigger fan base, more visibility, and the rest is history. You became the first ever fighter to go to the Pro Box fight, become world champion, and then I moved to Vegas last year. I don't live in Vegas anymore. I was only in Vegas for about like maybe just under a year, like 10 months. But in that time, while I was living in Vegas, I was invited to be part of the Bernardo Lopez camp, and I was part of the film study team, and that's kind of the long and the short of it. So yeah. Anyway, that's the long and the short of it. Shout out to my man Ruben Crespo. Shout out to Ruben. He says, "Look at him, y'all. 87K. Get it, champ. God bless." Thank you, Ruben. Good to see you. Definitely smash that like button. And yeah, by the way, guys, make sure you smash that like button. Definitely go ahead and super chat. I'm gonna be here in Japan, so anything would help. I'm trying to see how long we can stretch this next Japan trip and how much we can get out of it. Because look, guys, some big things are about to happen. With this fight, just God willing, we just focus on the task and win. I'm supposed to have some meetings with some pretty prominent people in the Japanese boxing world. So whoever you guys think are the biggest and most influential people in the Japanese boxing industry, I'm not gonna say who, but it's one of those people I'm supposed to have a meeting with in the near future. I just don't know when, but you'll hear about it later on. Do I think Angelo Leo would beat Stephen Fulton now? Oh my God, yes, without a shadow of a doubt. It's a much different fight now than it was 5 years ago, damn near 5 years ago when we fought. I think it's a great fight, but just being realistic, I don't think that we'll get the chance because Stephen Fulton, he can't make the weight like that, and he's been saying that for a while that he can't make the weight. So Stephen Fulton, I think, is going to go to 130, unfortunately. So maybe one day if we go to 130, but right now we're at featherweight, and that is what it is. Um, Next Gen Combat Sports TV says that Yamato Diamashi is gonna come out. Yeah, that that Japanese fighting spirit is gonna come out. So listen, Brian Norman. I already know Brian Norman has been getting asked in every interview. I've seen a couple interviews with Sean Zattel on other channels. You know, they talk about boots. You know, like this Jintazaki fight some sort of foregone conclusion. I'm telling you, Brian. I mean, I'm sure he is because Brian Norman Jr.'s dad was a fighter. Brian Norman Sr. is a very astute, smart boxing mind. Remember, he developed his son from the ground up and made him the youngest world champion in boxing today. So whether you love Brian Norman Sr. or not, or hate him, it don't matter. He molded the youngest world champion in boxing active right now from the ground up. So that commands respect. And he was a fighter himself. He walked that path many times himself. So I don't think he'll let Brian Norman Jr. have a letdown. But if he does, not a good idea. When you see him spar, will you tell us how he's looking, or can we not know that? I mean, I'm not. All I'm gonna tell you is he's looking good. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into that. You know, because I'm a firm believer. What happens in the gym stays in the gym. But you know, you guys know me well enough. You guys will be able to judge by the tone of my voice and how I sound, how good he looks in the gym. So you can ask me in about a week if I've seen him spar. I'll try to I will try to go ahead and you know, I'll say as much as I can without giving away too much, you know, because at the end of the day, it's respecting. I can't betray the trust of my man Issei Nakaya, who's helped me out so much in Japan. Why no more Las Vegas? I miss my family. You know, I miss my dad a lot. My dad's getting older. And truth be told, like Vegas really doesn't get fights like that anymore. Like, and I started to realize while I was there, I'm like, man, Vegas ain't even getting that many fights because of Saudi Arabia. So I'm like, it started to feel a little counterproductive. So I was like, fuck it, I'll go back, make sure my dad is good. And Vegas ain't going anywhere. I can always come back to Vegas, you know. So you know, it was a good experiment. I tried. It was cool, but I actually think I get better work done in Vegas when I don't live in Vegas. It's weird. It's hard to explain, but yeah, that's the long and the short of it. I'm definitely a fan of Norman. I wouldn't mind seeing him in boots another year or two because Norman can still get better. Yeah, and I think this fight would be very big for his development. You know, for sure. I think it'd be big for his development. Um, Anthony Joaquin Arieta says, best of luck to Team Leo. Yes, thank you so much. And I appreciate all the love and support that we're getting, not just from the fine folks here in the land of the rising sun, but just even back home in the States. You know, we're getting a lot of like support and love. And I feel like you know, I've been part of, I've been to every Angelo Leo fight after Stephen Fulton. So I believe this is the 6th fight since Fulton because he fought Alameda, Polanco, Plania, Baez, Venado, and then now Kameda. So this is the 6th fight post Fulton. I've been to all these fights. I've been around Angelo in sparring sessions, in camps, and on fight night and post fight for all these fights. And I can definitely say that heading into a fight, I don't think Angelo's ever had more love and support than going into this one, and it's just been amazing to see. I went to Vegas for the first time for the Inoue fight, and Vegas is boring as fuck. Yeah. I'm from South Florida, so Vegas, you know, I don't really go off the club like that. I don't gamble, so Vegas don't got much for your boy BT other than boxing. But sometimes, you know, I want to get away from boxing, and in Vegas, it's hard to get away from boxing when there's not much to do. Do I think Leo will get the stoppage? And a lot of you guys want to know, do I think Angelo will get the stoppage? Now, no, I'll be honest with you. Would it shock me if Tomoki pushed this fight the full 12 rounds? I would be mildly surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised only because of the fact that I know how Japanese fighters are when they fight on Japanese soil. They bite down a little harder, and they're actually willing to die. That's why there's so many damn deaths in Japanese boxing. They're willing to die, just to not like get they really do practice that whole death before dishonor thing, that we hear about in the movies and stuff. So I think, what it would be mildly surprising, but I wouldn't be too surprised. Now, do I think that's gonna happen? Fuck no. I think Angelo Leo is going to beat the brakes off Tomoki Kameda. I think Angelo is going to deliver the kind of stoppage that will be equivalent to and or greater than the Venado Lopez knockout. Just because I think Kameda is very, very aggressive, and on top of that, I think that there's a lot of things in his style that Kameda will not be able to work out. Um, Straight up, there's a lot of things in this style that Kameda is not going to be able to work out. And they sparred a couple years ago, and I've seen some footage of it, and the guy that he was even sparring is not close to the guy that I'm seeing now. Shit, the guy that fought Venado is not even close to the guy I see now. So if I had to give you a round, I'm gonna say 7. I'm gonna say Angelo in 7. Head History says, BT, you can tell us the truth. Once you saw those Osaka girls, you decided Vegas wasn't worth it. Shit. I'll tell you this, man. I love the girls in Osaka. The girls in Osaka are different. There's some beautiful ones in Tokyo as well. There's beautiful women everywhere in the world, but Osaka is different, man. I don't know what the hell they put in the water here. What they got going on out here, but for some reason, there's more. There's more in Osaka. Is the fight, and shout out to Johnny, he says, is the fight on the 24th in Vegas or on the 23rd? It's the 24th, Johnny. It'll be like early in the morning, I believe. Cause I think it's 7. I think it'll be at 7 a.m. on the East Coast, so it'll be probably like 4 a.m. Either way, just what you gotta do, Johnny, and to everybody else who wants to watch the fight, just keep your eyes peeled to the Pro Box YouTube channel. They should have the stream scheduled in the next like day or so. So yeah. Tomorrow is the fight. Yes. Today is the weigh-in. In fact, in about, I think, 3 hours, about 3 or 4 hours, we have to leave to go to the weigh-in. And then in about 1 hour, I'm gonna get off this live and go watch the Panthers play, because the Florida Panthers play at 9 o'clock Japan time, and it's 8:03. And I want to watch the Panthers play in the East Final. We're 7 wins away from going back to back as the Stanley Cup champions. So I'm not trying to miss any Panthers games when I can. But yeah, until then, get your questions in, guys. Listen, I got 28 people here. I got only 21 likes. Yo, smash that like button so this video gets pushed out to more people, so we can make this live as lit as possible, and so that people have a good, proper, real boxing channel with real boxing content to watch. Do all that. Oh, Lou Chavez says the fight will be at 4 a.m. Eastern and 1 a.m. Pacific. Thank you, Lou. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Because I'm not even sure. Like, I get my times mixed up because we're in Japan. So I got Japanese friends asking me what time the fight is. I got my friends on the East Coast. I don't know the times. So just keep it tuned, lock the Pro Box. Watch their channel. They'll put up a stream at some point. They'll schedule it. You'll see you'll see it there. Yeah. Do I know why Tomoki Kameda is hated in Japan? I've heard all kinds of explanations, and I still don't fully understand it. So I'll tell you guys what I heard, and then anybody who's Japanese who has more insight to present in the comments, they can feel free to give their insights as well. So what I've heard, the reason why Tomoki Kameda is hated in Japan so much is, number one, because his the brothers, right? First of all, it's the dad. The dad has threatened. There was a fight, I guess, where the dad threatened an official physically, and that wasn't taken very well in Japan. He even told one of the brothers to break somebody's arm in one of the fights. So those were looked at to be very distasteful things in Japan. And actually, his behavior got Kameda suspended from the Japanese Boxing Commission for like a year. It was crazy. So there was that. That's one part of it. The other side I've heard from people in the box industry is that, in Japan they have a way they do things. They have like hierarchy. They have like Mr. Honda and Ohashi overseeing all the international boxing affairs. And the Kamedas they didn't play by those rules. They decided to do their own thing, and they don't really operate under the Mr. Honda Ohashi banner. And on top of that, there have been a lot of negative, disparaging comments about Naoya Inoue, and the dad has made a lot of negative comments about the Monster. And you guys know the Monster is like the golden boy of Japanese boxing. So it hasn't been one particular thing. It's been a combination of things, and that's my understanding of the situation from asking people here in Japan, from really and truthfully like reading comments as well. So yeah, is Fulton planning on staying at 126 or is he going to move up? From what I've heard, Lou, because Fulton has made it very clear that he wants to go to 130 because he said he can't make featherweight anymore, which, you know, I have my own cynical thoughts about that. It's like, oh, how convenient, right? But no, I believe him because he posted a picture of him on the scale the other day and he was like 164 pounds out of camp. So I think he's going to go to 130. They've been talking about doing a fight with him and Oshaki Foster for the WBC title at 130. So I think, personally, I think once Angelo beats the brakes off Kameda, you know, God willing, of course, I don't want to put down Kameda, but think about it, right? Let me put my promoter's hat on for a second. Stephen Fulton is already a big star here in Japan. Like, he got a lot of fans from the Inoue fight. For what reason, I don't know. But he did get a lot of Japanese fans from the Inoue fight. Angelo is starting to get a lot of Japanese fans for this fight with Kameda. And on top of that, I think he's going to get even more if he beats the brakes off Kameda because a lot of people here don't like Kameda. So you think about it. Yes, they're both from America, but this fight could actually be a massive fight in Japan. You could see Angelo versus Fulton. I could actually see a scenario where Angelo versus Fulton does legitimately good business as a main event fight in Japan. Think about it. A unification rematch between two guys in Japan who have names in Japan who are both linked to Inoue. Why not? Throw them a big bag. Get. You know what did who was that girl? Was it Megan Thee Stallion? What's that song? What's that rap song? I get money, I'm a star. What's that song? Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion. She has that song. I'm a star. And there was a line in that song where she said, "From the U.S. to Japan, if he see me go, he gon' bow. I got yen for your friends. If they pretty, bring them out. Bring the yen out, champ. Bring the yen out for Fulton versus Leo or Leo versus Fulton too." I think that could be sure, it could do some good business in the States, but I actually think, as crazy as it sounds, because it's two American fighters, because of the Inoue factor involved, I think that could be a good fight. I think that fight could do really good business in Japan. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? Am I crazy for thinking that? Reverse Lee, shout out to you, champ. BT is live. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm definitely live. Fulton beat a gun-shy Figueroa. Fulton didn't look good at the weigh-in for Castro. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna discredit the Figueroa win. I was very adamant that he was gonna beat Figueroa. I was saying it before the fight. It was an easy fight to pick, and a lot of people thought I was crazy. He was gonna beat him easy, and he did. So I don't want to discredit the win, but I think when you talk about him fighting this version of Angelo Leo at featherweight, the more mature he forget Fulton. I think anybody would have a hard time dealing with this version of Angelo. Inoue, anyone. Junto, anyone from 122 to 126 would have a hard time dealing with this version of Angelo. It's not the same guy. Reverse Lee says, I'm not a baseball fan, but I consider getting all those jerseys last year because I like Yamamoto. Funny story, Reverse Lee. So my favorite Japanese baseball team is the Oryx Buffaloes. And the reason why they're my favorite Japanese team is because when I came here in 2023, they had just won the Japan series, and I was following Yoshinobu Yamamoto as well. So he's the reason why I like the Buffaloes, even though I know the more popular team in Osaka is the Hanshin Tigers, right? But let me show y'all something. Look, let me show you. I bought this yesterday and probably spent more money than I should have on it, honestly. But you know, I could look. But my favorite team, you guys know my favorite team. The Marlins, yes, the Florida Marlins, you know, still my favorite team, you know. So I bought this jacket yesterday because one thing about Osaka in particular, they got some great vintage stores. You know, you like vintage clothing. I like a lot of old 1990s sports paraphernalia. So they have a lot of that here in Osaka, and so I took advantage of it and I bought that jacket yesterday. Next Gen Combat Sports says, what would be crazy is if he put it on the undercard of it. Oh my God! Think about that for a second. Y'all, could y'all imagine that? Inoue versus Ball. Let's just say we'll say, let me see what venue would be good in Japan. We'll just say, look, Ariake Arena, right? Because Ariake Arena is one of the popular, prominent venues for Japanese boxing. That Ariake Arena, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, seats about 12 to 13,000. But let me see the capacity real quick. It seats approximately what is? Oh, okay. Ariake Arena seats 15,000 seats, right? So Inoue could fight the garbage man, and he'll sell that on his own. But you talk about putting Ball in Inoue, a potential for the Inoue to be a 5 division champion, right? Big fight. Then you put Leo and Fulton on the undercard. Yo, honestly, really and truthfully, guys, if you do that scenario, you might have to actually get a stadium, not like Tokyo Dome, but let's just say, let me see, I don't know, like you could do that fight in a good like size venue in Japan. You know, maybe like a baseball stadium, a smaller baseball stadium, maybe like I don't know, anything that's like 20,000 to 25,000 seats. If you were to able to get Inoue versus Ball as the main event, and then you put Leo versus Fulton rematch on the undercard. Oh my God, that's a fight I think where you could sell 20,000 tickets or more for sure. No doubt about it. There's too much star power on that card as the co-main. Lou Chavez said, "I will go and watch it live in Japan." Yeah, it'd be a great occasion for sure. Next Gen says, is Anthony Kakachi the boogeyman at 130? You can't call him the boogeyman at 130 because he ducked. He literally ducked Eduardo Sugar Nunez. Right? Was it him? Yeah, it was him. He had a chance to fight Eduardo Sugar Nunez because he was mandatory, and he literally like gave up the belt to not fight him. So no, he's not the boogeyman, but he's a very good fighter. I think Kakachi is a tough out for anyone. And you know he's not no walkover for nobody. And I think pound for pound, if you're looking at like British fighters, I think that's probably one of the top guys from the UK right now. You know, I think he's Irish, so UK. So he can't be the boogeyman because he already ducked Eduardo Sugar Nunez. You know that's just the truth. That's the long and the short of it. But somebody asked me, what do I think about the Jin Sasaki, Brian Norman Jr. undercard? So let me take a look at it so I can give you a better answer, right? So I'm only gonna talk about the fights and the fighters on the card that I know of because I don't know the other people, right? So on the undercard you got Rhea Abbey, who Rhea Abbey, he's a friend. You know what? I want to say this about Rhea Abbey. Rhea Abbey is probably one of the top Japanese fighters I want to interview because I met him last time when I was here in Japan. I met him at a club, at one of these like little club shows. And what's funny is about Rhea Abbey is I started talking to him and one of his friends, one of his sponsors that was there with him. And he actually his sponsor wanted to buy me 2 beers at a fight. He bought me 2 beers because I showed him some videos that I did about Rhea Abbey in the States on my channel, and he thought it was cool that somebody from the States was actively talking about Japanese boxing and Rhea Abbey. So he bought me 2 beers at a fight. And Rhea Abbey was so cool. Probably one of the nicest fighters I've ever met, and definitely one of the nicest fighters from Japan. So I've always thought of him as a solid fighter. I liked him as a fighter. But now I like him more. So he's actually fighting on this card against a fighter by the name of Yuya Oku, who's 8-0-2. I don't know anything about Yuya Oku, so I have to go do my homework. They're fighting for the vacant Japanese featherweight title. That's on the card. You got Sora Tanaka challenging for the OBPF vacant welterweight title against 14-7-1 Takuru Kobata. So they're fast tracking the hell out of him to get him in the rankings. Love Sora Tanaka. Sora Tanaka is probably my favorite prospect in Japanese boxing in terms of just excitement. I don't know how good he's going to be. I don't know how far he's going to get. But he's a short, stocky, compact puncher, and he's a welterweight. So that makes it interesting as well, seeing how far another Japanese welterweight can go. Then you got Christian Araneta from the Philippines. He's taking on 38-1 Thanosong Simsiri from Thailand, and I know he's got a good 38-1 record. They're fighting for the vacant IBF light flyweight title. So overall, my thoughts on the card are that it's actually a very good card on paper. You got some bright young talents in Japan taking some next steps up. You got a title fight on the card, and then you got obviously the most explosive fight in boxing right now for me, which is Jin Sasaki versus Brian Norman Jr. You know, either Brian Norman is going to become a bigger name in boxing and in Japan, and potentially bring more value to him for negotiations to other big fights, or we're going to see some real history, guys. We're going to see the first ever Japanese welterweight champion history. So, and either way, however it plays out, I think it's going to be an absolutely just phenomenal fight for boxing. So, yeah, great, really good card, actually. Which Falling Star wants to know which baseball games am I gonna go to in Japan? Great question. So I definitely want to come back to Osaka at some point. I want to go watch these guys play. The Buffaloes, my favorite team. We'll watch the Buffaloes play. I want to watch the Hanshin Tigers, and I want to go to probably. Let me see what other one. I would like to probably those are probably the two. I'll probably want to come back to Osaka and go to the two baseball stadiums here. Um, yeah, the Kiyosara Dome and the Koishiken Stadium. I think that one. I think those are the two stadiums I want to go see. If Angelo wins with Kameda, do you think there is a big chance that Bob Arum, Top Rank, or another big name promotion sign Angelo? Listen, I was telling Miguel Leo, obviously we have to focus on Kameda. I cannot emphasize this enough. I do not want to look. I don't want to look past or get beyond the 24th, May 24th, May 24th, May 24th, the 24th of May, the Intex Arena, Osaka, Japan, Tomoe Kameda, IBF title. That is the main thing that matters right now. But if we handle our business like we should, I told Miguel Leo the other day that I think that we could actually create a scenario where Angelo could become one of the hottest properties in boxing in terms of his value. I think we might see a scenario where the promoters could get into a bidding war because think about it. You're gonna have a guy now. Right now, just to explain his promotional situation to you guys, from my understanding, I could be wrong, but I'm telling you guys from my understanding. The way it's been explained to me is that Top Rank had options on Leo's contract, right? They had to make a fight for Angelo in a certain amount of time, otherwise the contract would expire, right? Now I don't know if that's the case because they're still posting about Angelo, so maybe they might still have a piece of him. So don't take what I'm saying about the Top Rank side of this at face value because I'm not 100% sure. What I do know about the Pro Box side of things is I know that this is his last. I believe this is his last fight on the Pro Box deal. So after this, Angelo Leo will be a free agent. He'll be a free agent. So he wins this fight, he walks out of the Pro Box deal with the world title, more fanfare in Japan, a title defense, and his stock at an all-time high, which thus in turn I think will create a bidding war. Because you guys, if you guys go on my shorts and you guys go look at the there's a video of Koki Kameda telling Miguel Leo, hey, we want to maintain a good relationship so we can do more business with you. So look, you're talking about Pro Box wanting to renegotiate. You're talking about 3150 promotions for Kameda's team, them throwing money at Angelo. You got to think if he looks great against Kameda, Ohashi promotions will start to raise their eyebrows. They'll want to get involved in the action. And then, there's other promoters as well that I do know that there have been some there's been interest. I'll say that much. So I think you're gonna have not just one, not just two, but I'm talking about 3, 4, 5, 6 promoters bidding for the services of Angelo Leo. So to answer your question, yes, I think if he wins this fight in sensational fashion, like I think he should, I could see a scenario where Top Rank Boxing, Bob Arum, and the fine folks there try to become, maybe even throw Pro Box a lot of money to get the sole rights to his contract. We'll see how it goes. I don't know, but we can't look past the 24th because Tomoe Kameda is going to come with everything possible to derail his plans. Because think about it, Kameda's been boxing. It's been about 10 years since he's been champion, and I'm sure he's gonna give it his all. So I just can't look past Tomoki Kameda, not one iota. In my mind, Tomoe Kameda might as well just be Naoya Inoue or fighting Harada or Salvador Sanchez or Floyd Mayweather because that's how I'm taking it, and that's how we have to take it. Every fight at this level, we have to take it that way. Tell Miguel Sandoval from New Mexico said what. Tell Miguel that Sandoval from New Mexico said what's up. I've known him for 35. Okay. Oh wow. So you know the real Miguel Leo. I might need to hit you up with some Miguel Leo stories. Cause Miguel's an interesting character, man. I love Miguel. I think he would do good on Top Rank. They would get him high level fights. He's got to make sure the red is right. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to get into what I think. I think I have like ideas and I have some things that I would like to see happen in Angelo. Like there's like 3 or 4 things I want to see happen in Angelo's career, and there's really one thing in particular that I want to see happen in Angelo's career, about in terms of like, making him a star. Like I had this one idea that I'm gonna keep to myself, But there's this one idea. I feel like if the right promoter gives him the amount of money, and just as long as they keep him active and allow him to, and they treat him as a star, that as the star that he actually is, then I hope that they allow Angelo to execute this idea I have for him, and that he loves, that he's on board with. It's just a matter of the promoters believing him in him enough to do it. But I'm gonna keep it to myself, you know. Um, Nike D says I got a lot of story. Oh man, shit. So Mikey, if you ever see me at a fight in New Mexico, just sit down and tell me some stories because I love Miguel. I'd love to learn more about Miguel. I mean, I know a lot about him already. We're pretty close, but if you know him for all that time, I'm sure you got some great stories. Um, Kameda is so aggressive. How much movement will Leo use? Listen, I can't divert nor divulge the game plan. Angelo Leo will use as much movement as Miguel Leo and Luis Chavez tell him to use. Whatever they say, listen. Those are the commanders in chief. So whatever they say, that's what goes. Those guys. I mean, I know some boxing, but you know, especially with Luis Chavez, he forgot more boxing than I know. So I leave it to the professionals. My job is to just help Angelo outside that ring. With other stuff. So yeah, man. I think personally, look, if I could give you my educated guess, I would anticipate Kameda coming out early, aggressive, trying to get on the front foot and use his speed early in the fight. He's got good speed. He doesn't have an elite jab. He doesn't have an elite right hand, but he's got a lot of volume. He's got a good left hook, and he's got good speed. So he's gonna try to use that early. I think Angelo will come out and have to box early because Kameda will put him in a scenario where he has to box early, and you'll see a lot of Angelo probably feinting and looking for counter punches. But I think what's gonna happen is Angelo at some point is gonna punch in between the shots of Kameda, and Kameda is gonna hold his feet and fight. And when that happens, it's gonna be curtains. That's what I think is gonna happen. But we don't underestimate anything. Anything can happen in that boxing ring. Anything and everything can happen in the boxing ring. So look, he might come out. I may think that Angelo is gonna come out and box, and who knows? Angelo might get on the front foot and push Kameda back. We don't know. That's why we're all tuning in to watch the fights. Naruto Polone says the Filipino fighter Kenneth Lovler just signed a contract promotion for 3 fight deals with Kameda. I expect him to become a world champion early next year. Yeah, the funny thing is, right? Like the Kameda promotions does get a bad rap, and I'll tell you guys this. Thus far, I can't speak for other fighters, but I've been with Team Leo the whole time. We haven't received any bad treatment at all, like at all. In terms of like since we've got here now. Were there things leading up to the fight that I did not like? Yes, but since we've been in Osaka, I haven't experienced any bad treatment as of yet. And they already said they want to do business with Miguel and Team Leo, so we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna see how it goes. I know 3150 Promotions, Kameda's company, they have some good fighters. You mentioned Kenneth Lovler, who I know is a very good fighter from the Philippines. They also got my favorite Japanese prospect, Aoi Yokoyama. So they're building a great stable, and they've already expressed an interest in 2 Team Leo fighters with Joseph Maicedo and Fernando Paredes to fight in Japan in the future. And if they add those 2 guys, they're gonna have even more heat. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what the future brings us. Yeah. Shout out to everybody here. It's your boy BT, Brennan Taylor, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We're here, rocking with you guys live. Giving you all that world class boxing content. The day of the weigh-in. From all accounts I've heard, Angelo's on weight, but we're here, man. So listen, I'm live in the flesh. I'm live and direct. Don't be a stranger. Definitely go ahead and smash that like button, super chat, because I'm announcing it here. I'm gonna be in Japan for at least another month. So definitely go ahead and support the super chats. I want to get to as many gyms as possible and get as much content as I can while I'm here, because I like to make my time in Japan really count. Okay. I just got a text message from Miguel Leo Wayne. Okay, all right. So they just texted me the weigh-in where the weigh-in is at today. So all right, cool. Any hints on Yokoyama's next opponent? No, I don't have any hints. I'm supposed to interview Gary Jonas from ProWalks. I just got to go ahead and do it. I want to try to get an interview with Koki Kameda. I want to try to get one of the guys to translate an interview with Koki Kameda. I think it'd be good to get him on the channel. What do you guys think? Should I'll let the chat vote. Do you want to see a True School Sports Koki Kameda interview? Yes or no? You know. Tomorrow's event will be Silly Singers concert during the match. Kameda events are always like that. Be prepared. Most Japanese will be cheering for Leo. They all expect him to beat Kameda. Thank you, and we appreciate all of our support in Japan and America. Hey, you know what? To anybody Japanese in here, I heard that this event sold out in 15 minutes, and I heard that that's not normal for Kameda Promotions fight. Is that true? Because I do know the event is sold out, but did it really sell out in 15 minutes? And do Kameda Promotions event really not sell out that often? Let me know in the comments. Do I think Brian Norman Jr. is overlooking Jin? No, I don't. I don't think Brian Norman Sr. would allow his son to overlook Jin. He was a fighter himself. He understands the seriousness of every fight. And just to give you guys some insight, Brian Norman Jr.'s dad, Sr. was not like a A-side fighter. He wasn't a prospect. He wasn't a guy that had a lot of money pumped into his career. He's one of those guys that took a lot of hard fights, was the opponent, maybe got exploited a bit by the boxing game because he didn't have good management. So even more so because of what his career was, I don't think that he would ever allow Brian Norman Jr. to overlook any opponent. And if he does overlook Jin Sasaki, let me tell you right now, that is the worst mistake he'll make in his life. Do not do that. Shout out to my boy Mikey D from the great old 505, the land of enchantment, New Mexico. He says, God bless my brother, go Team Leo, and God bless you, Mikey, and God bless New Mexico, Puro Burque, Santa Fe, Albuquerque, all that. Yes, sir. Good to see you, champ. He says, I love your work, BT. Keep it up. I will be lifting you guys up in Jesus. Thank you so much, man. And I'll definitely be doing the same for Angelo myself. The Kogi Kameda interview could be hilarious. I think I'm pretty sure if I ask for it, I could get it. I'm gonna ask today. Today at the weigh-in, I'm gonna ask the translator. It's this bald-headed dude. His name's what? Seiji? 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 I think he's Japanese. He's Japanese, right? Or is he from Thailand? I think he's Japanese.
Oh, no, Thailand.
Is he Thai? Okay, he's Thailand. Kameda speaks Spanish. I know he does speak Spanish. Shit, I'll keep it a spare with you guys. You guys know I know Dick Ryder. I don't bullshit. Like he speaks better Spanish than Angelo. He speaks better Spanish than a lot of Mexicans in boxing. It's crazy. If you close your eyes, right? If you were to close your eyes, and you didn't know what Kameda looked like, you would think he's from Guadalajara. You think he's Mexican. The Kameda boys still have those fans, I guess. Yeah, I think I would anticipate he has some sort of fan base because you can't just not have a fan base, and so I'm gonna run into some Kameda fans at the fights, but from what I've been seeing so far, it's been like out of 100, the comments and the reaction has been like 90-10, maybe not even 95-5 in favor of Angelo. It's crazy. Yeah, Kameda speaks amazing Spanish. Hyro says, ask Koki Kameda how it feels to be the first Japanese fighter signed to Al Heyman. All roads lead to PBC with you, Hyro. Good to see you, Hyro. Hope all is well. Which Japanese fighters do you think would benefit the most from being on an Inoue undercard? I don't think Jin would have had this welterweight title chance if he hasn't fought on those undercards. I think Jin Sasaki would have a lot. I'm going to say the two fighters that come to mind when you ask me that question would be Jin Sasaki, Sora Tanaka, Yuga Osakai, and Aoi Yokoyama. Those are the four Japanese fighters I think would benefit the most from American exposure. Sasaki and Sora Tanaka, because of them being welterweights, I think would get a lot of good exposure. I think, what was the other one? Yuga Osakai. I mean, I think he's going to be a massive star. He's learning how to speak English, and who knows, man? He might be joining Team Leo. Who knows what the future holds? I did invite him to come train with us. We'll see what comes of that in the future. But really good fighter. I think with him learning English, that's gonna be very very big for him. And then Aoi Yokoyama, he fights just like Inoue, so I think people will take a good liking to him there. TSM says, I'm going to watch Leo fight. I was going to watch his last fight, but I had to cut hair, and my brother showed me the KO, and so now I finally get to see him fight. Yeah, man, hey. I've been telling, I've been yapping away for years. I've been saying, guys, even when he wasn't even fighting, I said, guys, all these other guys. I was telling you guys, Angelo was going to be the featherweight champion before he was even a featherweight. And here we are. So yeah, I'm happy for everyone to be part of it. I'm glad you're. Is there any good current Japanese heavyweight fighters? So it's funny you mentioned that because there's only about 8 heavyweights in the whole country of Japan. Only about 8. Japanese people are not that big normally, and they don't really have a lot. They don't really have anybody on the world level to speak of. I have a friend actually. His name is Jan Backus. He trains out of the same gym as Jin Tazaki. He's not full Japanese, or he's not Japanese at all in terms of national. He's German, but his wife's Japanese, and he moved here. He's making his pro debut on the 27th, and I'll probably be in Tokyo for that show. It's at Corkin Hall. It's a big tournament show that they're doing, and it's a bracket style tournament. There will be some heavyweights. He's in it, so I'll be there to support him because he's a great friend of the channel. Probably one of my closest friends in Japan. So they said that's the white guy with the beard, right? Yup, that's the white guy with the beard. My guy Jan. I'm gonna go there and support my boy Jan. He, believe it or not, like, he was a big help to Team Leo when we were there at the gym, so shout out to him. Definitely got to support him. And he was a big help to me last time I was out in Japan, and he supported this channel before we even met. He was a supporter of the channel, so I'm gonna go support him and give him my best. And I've been giving him all my encouragement and little insights I could while I was in the gym with him. So hopefully he comes out and wins his pro debut, because I know he's been training and working very very hard. Looks in amazing shape. When I came to Japan last time, Jan was a little chubbier. Now he's got actually looks like he's in fighting shape, like a brick house. Hyro says, I'm glad you're staying in Japan. Stay for real fights and not Bam Rodriguez. You know what happened to the Panthers when you were in Japan? When I was in Japan, the Panthers won. They won all their playoff series, and then I came to Vegas, the 2023, and then they Florida, I should say, and then they lost to the Knights. So, the Panthers have never lost a playoff series. Well, I've been in Japanese soil, so I don't know what you're talking about. What are my thoughts on Bam Rodriguez? I like Bam. I think Bam's a good fighter, very good fighter. I'm happy for his next fight because he's fighting a younger, fresher fighter in Fumulele Kafu from Africa, who's a good fighter. Kafu beat a legitimate champion on the road here in Japan, and Kosai Tanaka, to become champion. So I think this is actually the fight in Bam's career I'm most excited about, because he's fighting someone younger and fresher, which you can't really say for a lot of the guys he's been fighting, even though they have named and they're good fighters. This fight I think is better because of the stage of the career he's fighting the guy in. But Bam's a good boxer, educated jab, probably one of the best fighters in the world when it comes to pivoting and creating angles. He's pound for pound. Does Inoue really hate Kameda? I don't know if Inoue hates Kameda. I can't really speak on if Inoue hates Kameda. I know that Inoue's people hate Kameda, and I know that everybody that I've met in the entire boxing industry of Japan, from Tokyo to Osaka and everywhere else in between, seems to hate the Kameda. So, yeah, that's all I can say when it comes to that. So, yeah, there's that. Shout out to my main man, 50 grand, longtime viewer, Orlando Flores, in the chat. He says, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. Yeah, it's good to see you, Orlando, in the chat as always. We got a Japanese comment, but I don't know what that says. So somebody who's Japanese, translate what my boy in the comments said. Rendon, he had a long old Japanese comment, so someone translate that. But we here, guys. Make sure you smash that like button. We're at 32 likes, guys. If you haven't hit like, let's try to get it to at least 50. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel, or if you're new to the channel, definitely super chat if you want to help me stay out here in Japan as long as possible to get you guys great content. There will be plenty of content today from the weigh-in coming out. There will be content from the fight. There will be content from after the fight. There's just going to be content everywhere covering this fight. And not just Angelo content, but I'm going to try to get some stuff with some of the undercard guys. And I'm going to ask for the Kogi Kameda interview. And there should be an interview with Gary Jonas as well. So, yeah. Rendon says the Kameda brothers are known for their dirty fighting style when cornered. They are likely to commit foul acts such as headbutting. The eldest Kameda's son you met was the same way. Inoue hates that kind of thing, so even if the Kameda to Ward becomes champion, he will not fight Kameda to the end. Um, I'll tell you this, man. You know, Angelo Leo is a true professional, like a champion inside and outside the ring. He carries himself as such. You know, let me tell you guys this about Angelo. I always tell Angelo that I would like to see him in a fight one day where he talks shit. I want him to fight an opponent that makes Angelo have to talk some trash, but that's not really who he is. He can, but that's not really who he is. So he's a true professional and a very classy person inside and outside the ring. And I've learned a lot from him just as his friend. And I think that if Kameda were to make it that kind of fight, that would be the worst thing he could ever do. Don't do that. It won't end well for you. Did you run into Pedro? You should interview him because many Pacquiao promotions is taking over boxing. We're gonna see July 19th. Yeah, man. No, I think I walked by Pedro once, but I've only seen him like one time. So today I'll probably run into him. In a way, publicly mentioned someone addressing the Kameda family that tarnished the name of boxing. Yeah, that seems to be the consensus opinion out here in Japan that the Kamedas brought dishonor and disgrace to Japanese boxing. They don't mess everything up. It's crazy. Honestly, guys, God is so good. Like, when I really sit back and I think about what's going on right now, like, I'm in Japan again for the second time in less than 6 months with my friends in boxing, with my best friend in boxing in terms of fighters. I don't have too many friends that are fighters, but and he's defending his belt, and we're my favorite city, what arguably my favorite city in Japan, in Osaka. Like, this is a dream, guys. And this just goes to show you that when you do things the honest way and you do things the best way and you do things with integrity and class, good things happen to good people. Angelo's a great example of that. I would hope that I'm a great example of that, and it's just it's a beautiful time. And God willing, we're gonna continue to. We've already done all the hard work. Angelo and Miguel and Luis have done all the hard work, and I've done my part in the camp as well. And from the camp in New Mexico, guys like Fernando and Joseph and Eric Lances Jr. and Johnny Cortijo and Coach of Champs Jonathan Balgame, they've all played their role as well. So all the hard work, all the arduous stuff has been done. Now it's just that time, and we want to give the Japanese people and the boxing fans all over the world, just like with the Venado fight, something they don't ever forget. So definitely tune in tomorrow. How many hours from now is it? It'll probably be. So I believe we'll be at the. We have to be at the hotel in about, I think about 11 o'clock. So like 2.5 hours. Do you know if Angelo plans to finish his career at 126? I would fully anticipate that he's gonna continue to fight at 126. If I had to give you the amount of fights that I think he'll be at 126, I'm looking at probably anywhere from 3 to 6 fights more at 126. I think this is his weight class. He feels strong here. He's great. There's great fights for him here. So I'm gonna say 3 to 6 more fights at 126. But I do know that they do have aspirations to definitely go to 130 at some point and become a 3 division champion. And look, there's some interesting scenarios at play. If the right paperwork got passed our way for fights at 130, I don't think we'd say no. I don't think Miguel would say no or Angelo would say no. So for the right fight, maybe even earlier we go to 130. But right now, for the foreseeable future, the big fights are obviously this big with Kameda, but Fulton rematch, Espinoza, Inoue, Carrington. I mean, those are all amazing fights. So why wouldn't we stay in this weight class? Leo has to go to the body often and jump on Kameda after Kameda run. Yup. I agree. That amongst other things. Listen, there's some things that you guys are gonna see in this fight. I ain't gonna say what they are, but you're gonna see some shit in this fight. Oh my god. Kameda better be ready to fight. We have to be ready to fight too, but he better really be ready to fight, because he gonna see some shit this fight. One thing about Angelo, he got a crazy bag of skills, like deep bag of skills. Like, there's so many things he hasn't even showed the boxing world yet, and I've seen in the gym with my own 4 eyes. And if Kameda push them buttons and make him have to do those things, God have mercy on him. Leo has to go to the body often. Joe, yeah, so that Hyro says I think Barrios is tailor made for Manny Pacquiao. Barrios went life and death with Ryan Carl. He beat a shot Ugas. He got Ugas after Ugas was rich. And you know what, Hyro? You say a lot of crazy things. That's actually that's a real good point right there. Ugas Barrios did fight Ugas after he got rich, and you know Ugas got a very beautiful, lovely, voluptuous Cuban woman as a girl. So look, he had all the luxuries, all the great things that life could afford him after he beat Manny Pacquiao. So he didn't fight the same hungry Ugas that fought Ray Robinson and Brian Perella and all these kind of guys. No, he fought the content Ugas. He fought that guy, you know. So it is what it is there. Al the Pal says, what it do, what it do, what it do, what it do. Al the Pal, my kin folk out there in Texas. How you doing, champ? Good to see you. I'm out here in Osaka right now with Angelo for the fight. Today is weigh-in day, so it's a fun day. It's a special day, and it's a day that I'm really gonna enjoy. And make sure y'all stay tuned for all the amazing, exciting, untouchable, exclusive content on True School Sports that we're gonna have today. You know. Let me see. Let me check my Instagram right quick. By the way, guys, I'm gonna have to get up out. I'm gonna have to get out of here in like the next 20 to 30 minutes because I gotta go get this breakfast at the hotel. This hotel, I'm gonna tell you guys, this hotel we're staying in, they got the most phenomenal breakfast. They got all. It's a pretty nice hotel. It's like what is it, like a four? It's a 5-star hotel.
Four.
It's like a 4-star hotel we're staying in, and they got like udon noodles. They got like custom omelets. What else they got in there, firm?
You got the motherfucking the takoyaki.
Takoyaki. They got everything. They got pasta.
Cheesecake.
They got cheesecake. They got souffle. So normally the it's like all you can eat. It normally closes at 10:15. It's 8:43 right now. So I'm gonna end this live no later than 9:15. So I have a nice hour to get my 2 or 3 plates in. All right, friend. All right, see you soon. All right.
You don't need the card. You don't need the card.
I don't need the card for the elevator.
Yeah, but if anything, I'll be here before you even go.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. All right. Ala Powell says you love to be around the Japanese league. They're not bad, man. I'll tell you this. They look better now than they've ever looked to me because we're in Osaka where they just I don't know what they put in the water in Osaka, but it's not the same thing they put in the water in Tokyo. I'll tell you that right now. It ain't the same thing they put in the water in good old Takamatsu or Mito or Yokohama. I'll tell you that much right now. They said, nice. Why don't you do the breakfast video on YouTube? Because I don't want to go out in the public and start talking all loud because they're really particular about that here in Japan and we're in the hotel. They may not want to film me filming, so I don't want to do anything that will make Angelo look bad. So that's why. Are the weigh-ins going to be shown on ProBox? That part I don't know, to be honest. That one I don't know. But if they're not shown on ProBox, they'll be here on True School. So either way, you'll be covered. You'll be good. Let me see. How was Leo's weight cut? From all accounts I've got, you know, Angelo was messaging me last night. So you know, he don't seem the most angry in the world. So I would anticipate, you know, from what I've been told, I've been told his exact weight, and what I can tell you guys, I won't say the exact number, but I've been told that it's actually under the featherweight limit, so he's already on weight, he's good, and you know, true professional in every sense of the word, you know, wasn't I don't know how hard of a weight cut it was because I wasn't in his body, but you know, I did eat with him like about a night ago with the team, and he was cutting weight, and he wasn't like as angry as he usually is, so I think it's going well. I think his weight cut's going pretty well, if I'm being honest with you. Let me see. What I know I missed some comments. What other comment did I miss? Oh yeah. Let me check those ProBox TV. If they got a stream for you guys. I don't know if they got a stream, so I'm gonna go ahead and check for fine folks. I doubt it though. They don't normally do streams for weigh-ins in Japan. I can't think of the last time I saw a stream for a weigh-in in Japan. But let me check for you guys. So right now, ProBox does not have anything scheduled on their channel for the weigh-in. So you have to just stay tuned to True School to the channel here. BT, do you agree with Nunez versus Rikishi odds? Nunez is a minus. That's fine. I think that's fine. My Nunez is a minus 20. Rikishi's a plus 172. I'm actually surprised that it's so close. I'd actually have the fight just a little bit wider, because I think Rikishi gives away rounds sometimes. Um, Hyro says the Edmonton Oilers better step up. You'll see the next game. They're rusty after week. That's how elites, the Panthers and Oilers, they got each other's numbers. Well, it's true. Those probably are the two best teams right now. But I don't know, man. I think the Dallas Stars might got them this year, Hyro. Dallas Stars might actually go ahead and just pack them up. But you can't ever underestimate McDavid and Draisaitl when they're not playing the Panthers. But when McDavid and Draisaitl are playing anybody but the Florida Panthers, you gotta take them seriously at all times. Filipino boy says, "Is there any Asian country that you want to visit, BT?" Yeah, there's a couple. I want to visit. Vietnam looks pretty nice. I have a friend in Vietnam. Vietnam looks nice. At some point, I wouldn't mind visiting China for like a couple days. China looks pretty cool. Probably all of them. I want Thailand. Thailand for sure. All of them. I want to go visit all of them. South Korea, maybe not North Korea, because bad things will happen there. But South Korea, I'll go there. Ala Pal says, "Get some girls pregnant out there and fly back." Shit, there's one in particular. She's on the list. There's one in Tokyo. She's on the list. Yesterday, world champion Masner Rikishi predicted a crushing victory for Leo in a conversation. The reason he said is that Kameda and Leo have different punching qualities. He said Kameda's punches are too light against Leo. However, he said that his technique is indeed world class. Well, listen, shout out to Masner Rikishi. Then I guess I gotta I gotta root for Masner Rikishi then, because he's supporting us. But good. I think it's a good assessment. I think Angelo's a sharper puncher, sharper puncher in terms of technique, and the bigger puncher in terms of power. So best if I was breaking down Kameda, how do you beat Angelo? I think the only chance he's got is volume. He's got to try to out-volume him, but he's still got to maintain defensive responsibility and be able to push him back for a sustained period of time. And I think that's going to be very, very difficult for him. So he's fighting up to an uphill battle. Alapal says, what time is the Leo fight in America? I believe it'll be 4 a.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. Pacific, and that would make it, 3 a.m. Central. Yes. Alapal says, you're the king in Japan. You can get them American papers. You're the prize. Listen, man, I'm the prize even when I'm in America. I don't need to be in Japan to be the prize. I'm in the prize when I'm in South Florida. I'm the prize when I'm in Vegas. I'm the prize when I'm in Osaka. I'm the prize no matter where I'm at. But I hear you, champ. Japanese girls are not easy like that. No, I don't think they are. The Japanese women are very respectable women for the most part, unless you go to a whorehouse or the club. It's only on a Beamer, right? It'll be on a Beamer TV in Japan. It'll be on ProBox TV's YouTube channel if you're in the States. So if you're in the United States of America, Angelo Leo's stream will be tomorrow morning on ProBox TV. What was the feeling like when Leo landed that left hook versus Lopez? Oh man, that's a great question. If you go back and you watch my reaction video, I mean, look, my prediction for the fight was an Angelo Leo stoppage, but I was thinking more of an accumulation stoppage. I thought it would be after winning so many rounds in a row to where the referee would wave it off. I had picked Angelo by stoppage, but he even exceeded my expectation for that fight, because I thought personally that it was not going to be no one punch, no shit like that. So he even exceeded my expectations. So when he landed that left hook, I let it all out, man. I had a lot of anger built up going into that fight, because a lot of boxing fans were saying to me on a lot of videos BT, how's it gonna be watching your friend when he's on his knees and he's humiliated and this, that, and the third. Fernando's gonna beat up Angelo in front of his kid. I was getting very crazy comments going into that fight, so I let it all out. I was he's like, Fernando this, Fernando that. I effing told you. I fucking told you. I was going crazy. If you go pull up that video, I was crashing out. I crashed out like crazy when he landed that hook. It was one of the greatest. It was thus far. Maybe tomorrow we'll be better than that. I don't know. We don't know what God has in store, but thus far it's my greatest night in boxing. Covering fights, being a part of fights, it's the greatest night of my life in boxing. But shout out to everybody here. It's your boy BT, Brennan Taylor, the untouchable True School Sports Empire, reporting to you guys live and direct from Osaka, Japan. Yes, yes. Make sure you smash that like button. We're at 39 likes. Listen, let's try to get to 50 or close to 50 before I end this live because I'm ending this live in like 15 minutes. It's 8:51, so I'm not going live no later than 9:15 because I want to get downstairs for breakfast and eat some udon noodles. I gotta eat some nice fresh udon noodles to get my day started properly. You know. Let's see, did I miss any comments? Yeah, I pretty much got to most of the comments. So yeah, I mean, what else is going on in boxing? I mean, there's not like a ton going. I know Josh Taylor's fighting this weekend. Josh Taylor is back, so it kind of sucks that Josh Taylor's fighting the same day as Angelo because I'm a big Josh Taylor fan. Like Josh Taylor is one of my favorite fighters in boxing. I'm the president of the Josh Taylor American Fan Club, but I'm probably gonna miss this fight because it's the same day as Angelo's. But I'll definitely check it out because it's finally like 3 years later, 3 years later than it should have been. He's finally making his welterweight debut against Ecal Esserman. So we'll see how it goes there. Then with I think Terry Harper's fighting. I think Terry Harper's fighting this weekend. Hyro says you really like slurping those noodles. No comment, but yes, udon noodles are very good. Probably my favorite food in Japan. What are your thoughts on a potential Chocolatito versus Donaire fight? What I can say about that fight is, they're both really old. Roma Gonzalez doesn't seem to really want to fight any of the guys at 118 to try and become a five division champion, which is what I want. I want to see that for him. I want to see him try to become a five division champion, and he's not fighting Kafu. So look, man, at this point, it's a good old guy fight. Two big names. I do know that's a fight that the Donaire team is looking forward to because I got a phone call like about a month ago from Rachel Donaire herself, and um, she had to ask me a question about something because she's trying to get Donaire back in the rankings. So she had a specific question for me. She called me about a month ago. So yeah, good fight. Two explosive guys. Donaire is a naturally bigger guy, so I think in terms of punching power, he should have an advantage. But Roman Gonzalez to me is the more skillful, more classy fighter. So yeah, it's a good fight. I'm not as against it as I used to be because Roman Gonzalez is showing me through how he's moving that he's not trying to fight the bantamweight champions, nor is he trying to fight Kafu. So why not go out with a good name like that? Get Donaire one last payday, get him one last payday, and both guys can sell off into the sunset. Why not? What do you think about it? What does the chat think about Chocolatito versus Donaire? Do y'all have any comments? Do y'all have any concerns about that fight? Hannah Strayval says, I'm still waiting on the Ring Girl interviews, BT. When are they dropping? I don't got any Ring Girl. I haven't, let me see. The last time I interviewed a Ring Card Girl on this channel was probably like 2018. It's probably been about a good 7 years since I interviewed any Ring Card Girls. And the funny thing is, the Ring Card Girl that I wound up interviewing actually became pretty famous on Instagram because that video is still on this channel. Her name was Aliana. I think Aliana Amala. I think that was her name. Aliana. Let me see. Aliana. Is it Aliana Amala? How the hell do you spell this girl's name? Aliana Amala. Instagram. Yeah, like the girl got real famous. She has like 275,000 followers. Like she's bigger than True School Sports on YouTube. Shit's crazy. Yeah. Oh, let me see. Owl Mall. Look, it's this girl. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all this. Maybe I should. If I did, okay. So hypothetically, guys, if I did interview a ring card girl, which ring card girl in particular should I interview? Maybe I'll interview that black girl from Top Rank. She's pretty cute. Tiana, whatever her name is, Tiana, blah 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 blah, whatever. She got some crazy like Samoan name. She's like black and Samoan. She's pretty fine. Yeah, it was this girl. She dated some celebrity. Do you guys know who Liam Payne is? Liam Payne. Is he famous? Is Liam Payne famous? He's probably really famous. He's dead now. Well, this guy's dead. He died. This guy died in October. Who's Liam Payne? Do you guys know who Liam Payne is? Oh shit! This guy was part of One Direction. Yeah. So this chick Aliana, I interviewed her in 2018. She dated this Liam Payne guy who was like really famous. See, I'm gonna show you guys. Yeah. So this girl, I'm gonna send you guys her Instagram, and then I'm gonna send you guys the interview I did with her. This girl dated Liam Payne. I interviewed her like in 2018 at this random like club show, and you know what's funny about that? What's funny about that whole situation is that this girl, and I just dropped her Instagram in the chat. The craziest thing is at that time I had a girlfriend. I had a very nice girlfriend at the time, and I remember I was getting comments like, where's your girlfriend, BT? Like everyone, and even my girlfriend got all insecure because I interviewed some ring car girl. She got all mad about it. Hold on, Aliana. Well, I'm gonna show you guys so y'all can see for yourself. True School. Here. Hold on, why can't I find it? It was like some ring car girl. Let me see. Ring car girl. I'm gonna find it for you guys. Ring. It's a True School Sports classic. Ring card girl. And that was probably the last time I interviewed a ring card girl. Let me see if I can find it. Can't now I can't find it. Now I'm looking for it. I can't find it right now. Ring card girl. Where is it? Where is it? Ah, found it. 2018, March 27th, 2018. Yeah, this girl dated Liam Payne. You know what's crazy? It was at a random. I think it was. I interviewed her on the undercard of Raymar Caballo versus Stefan Young in 2018. It was a WBA bantamweight eliminator. And if you go to the comments, everyone is like, one of the guys is like, now this girl was dating Liam Payne. She's come far, LOL. And now Liam Payne is dead. So it's funny how that goes. Boom. That's the interview. So if y'all want to see the last time I interviewed a ring card girl, there's the interview. But they said I think it could be I think it could be dangerous for Chocolate Tito considering the size difference and how much he slowed down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Donaire could just land a big left hook and put him out. Luckily for Roman Gonzalez, he's got a very good style where defensively he stays very tight and parries punches. But yeah, it's a tough fight for him. It's a very very tough fight for him if he takes it. Hyro says Jean Pascal is back and he's fighting for the interim WBC cruiserweight title. How do you feel about Jack and Pascal? Um, why not? Why not? They seem to love to make these old guy fights in boxing these days. So why not make another old guy fight in boxing? Straight up, why not? Why not just do it again? Damn, this girl's pretty. I'm going back and I'm watching this interview with this Aliana Amala. Like I did, I must have did it on like some sort of like phone or something. I don't know what I shot this on, but yeah, she was pretty fine. Yeah, she's pretty bad. I might need to hit her up. You know, I've come a long way since that interview. I might need to reach out to her now that Liam Payne is out of the picture. She might need to get on the True School Sports team. Alexis Sandino says Pascal has gotten better with age. Yeah, he has, and some people have their suspicions. They feel like it could be naturally or unnaturally. Who knows? But I think his best like his renaissance as a fighter has ended. I think Michael Eifert put a stop to that when they fought. So we'll see what happens. But Hyro says that sucks about Ryan Rozicki. Yeah, man, Ryan Rozicki's been screwed, and I really want to see him get his shot at glory, but it just seems like the boxing gods have other plans for Ryan Rozicki, and they're not gonna allow that to happen. So that really really sucks, and that's super super unfortunate. So hopefully he gets back in the ring, and we get to see him get his shot at the title at some point because he's been one of this division's most exciting fighters and one of boxing's most exciting fighters for the last couple of years. How about Badu Jack versus Jake Paul? Because we know that's more likely than not, Jack is lined up for Jake Paul. I'll tell you this: if Jake Paul actually goes and beats Badu Jack, even if it is an older version of Badu Jack, that would actually be impressive. Because Badu Jack is a still, even though he's not what he used to be at, like 168. You know, he's he's still a credit. If we're comparing him to Jake Paul, that's very good. You know, that would actually be like wow, that would really speak to how good, really good Jake Paul is. Hyro, my man Hyro's out here quoting T from Lopez. He says, "There is only one God, the one true God, and only one human race. I don't believe, I don't believe in all religions. I believe in God. Let's come together." Rosa Parks said, "Divided." You guys remember when T from Lopez after the Jermaine Ortiz fight? You guys remember when T from Lopez was like, he talked about, he said, "Blessed be the Lord." In like a 1 minute span, he said, "Blessed be the Lord." Rosa Parks, and then he said, "Suck my dick." He said all that in a 60-second span. Probably one of the greatest post-fight interviews of all time. What about Pascal? Yeah, I asked that one already. Ahmed El Bialy versus John Pascal 2 at cruiserweight. Why not? Why not, man? Ahmed El Bialy, he has been able to really move his career because he's fallen out of favor with a lot of the promoters politically in boxing, and I would like that fight. Ahmed was very, very young when he lost that fight. I think that fight was about 2 or 3 fights too early for him at that point in his career. But credit to him. At that time, he stepped up to the plate and took the challenge. So I think that's a fight that why not? But it's not like John Pascal can get better fights right now. So why not circle the block and do that rematch? My man says, somebody on Twitter just tweeted me and they said Leo definitely won't KO Kameda. Um, those brothers have crazy chins. No, he's getting knocked out. Tomoki is getting put the fuck out for sure. Like it's not even like I'm being respectful, but like once if, I'm getting a little hungry right now. So when I get hungry, I start really talking my mind. Good fighter, durable, hasn't been stopped in 46 fights. He's getting put the fuck out. This is it for him. Like we didn't come to Japan to play with Kameda and go eat udon noodles and go visit Osaka Castle. We came here to do. Angelo and the whole team came here to do a demolition job, and done it will be come tomorrow. So Eric says, what time is the weigh-in? I'm not sure the exact time, but I know we gotta be there around 11 o'clock, and it's 9:03 right now. So, hey, shout out to Eric Lances Jr., 140-pound prospect, one of the many really good fighters as part of Team Leo, and definitely one of my closest friends in boxing and in life. So good to see him in the chat. Hope you're well, Eric. And I still gotta go watch that opponent for you. I haven't forgotten. It's just been very busy. But yeah, weigh-in should be soon. Finally, after all this time, we get to finally size this MFR up. I'm tired of hearing about Kameda and not seeing Kameda. I'm glad I finally see Kameda today. Size him up for myself. See what type of time he's on. Ooh, Eric says, bro, I'm back in action sooner than you think. Okay, well, listen, don't say nothing here, but feel free to message me either on Instagram or via text. I would like to hear about that and help you any way I can. I'm 1000% in your corner. So yeah. Let me see. It's 9:04 now, so we're at about an hour and 58 minutes. So maybe we'll go to 9:15. We're gonna take this thing all the way to 9:15 because the buffet closes at 10:15. So that'll give me roughly about an hour to get my food and get a couple plates in. Alexis Sandino says Luis Chucho Melendez versus Emiliano Vargas. That's a good fight. Me and my boy Eric Lenz Jr. in the comments, we know Chucho very, very well. Chucho Melendez is an experienced fighter, been tested before, good boxer, good pedigree as an amateur. For Emmy, that would be a very good step up for him. I like that fight. I never thought about that fight, but I like that fight. Why not? Which country do you think has the earliest stoppages and which one has the slowest stoppages? The one that has the earliest stoppages is definitely the UK, and the one that has the slowest stoppages is definitely probably Mexico or Japan. Hi, Eric says, love you, big bro. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you, brother. Love you too, man. Hyro says, I hope that Eric fights at 147. I want Eric to get that money. I mean, look, man. I personally don't think that's a good idea. Um, but for the right guy, who knows? You never know. You never know what the future may hold. You never know. 140 for our boy Eric. I believe 140 wholeheartedly is his weight class. Jermaine Ortiz versus Brandon Lee. Who do you think wins? Ooh, good fight. I'll go with Jermaine. Jermaine Ortiz outbox. Jermaine Ortiz, UD, easy, easy UD. Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee don't got the footwork to beat Jermaine Ortiz. He don't got the footwork. He's explosive. He can hurt him, but yeah, I'll go with Jermaine Ortiz UD. I like that fight. They should do that one because Brandon Lee ain't fighting nobody. Who's he? I know he's fighting. So who's he fighting? Because he's got like 30 fights with nothing really crazy to speak of. Let me see. Who the hell is Brandon Lee fighting? You know, he's 26. Let me see. He's fighting some 22-5 guys. Some guy named Elias Arujo. Who the fuck is Elias Arujo? You know, respectfully, like I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like step up already. Ooh, Jermaine Ortiz versus Ernesto Tito Mercado. Very good fight. I like that fight as well. Tito Mercado's on smoke. He wants to fight a lot of the top guys. I would love to see that fight. You know, if he listen, if Tito Mercado stopped Jermaine, that'd be a statement. There's no money at 140. You got Tio moving up. Nobody talking about Africa fighting George. I wouldn't say there's no money. I mean, there's obviously more money at 147 and 135 because those are the glamour divisions. But there's money at 140. If you can get to the top of any weight class of boxing, there's money. Tio is moving up because Tio's already accomplished what he needed to accomplish at 140. He beat Josh Taylor, the lineal champion. So what else is he gonna do at 140 that he hasn't already did? He beat Josh Taylor. Literally took his own. Josh Taylor, one of the best fighters in boxing over the last 5 years. So you're not gonna do a whole lot better than Josh Taylor. Yeah, man. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for tomorrow. Cannot wait for tomorrow. What did Tyson Fury say back in the day? Well, when Tyson Fury fought Steve Cunningham, he said, "I didn't play. I didn't come here to play with battleships and play tip tap boxing. No, I came here to do demolition jobs on cruiserweights." That's how I feel right now. I feel like Tyson Fury going into the Steve Cunningham fight, and you guys know what happened to Steve Cunningham in that fight. If you watch that fight. Panthers versus Hurricanes, who wins? Yes, there you go, Eric. Asking the pertinent, important questions. And good series. I got a lot of respect for the Carolina Hurricanes. They're like they're one of the top teams in the NHL. They don't get the credit they deserve. They're one of the only teams in hockey that play a similar style to the Panthers. They play a very suffocating defensive system. They shoot the puck a lot. They have solid goaltending. The only thing is, they're like the bootleg Panthers. They play the same style, same system. They just don't have any. They don't have any superstars. They don't have Barkov caliber players. They don't have Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart. They don't have that caliber of players. So it'll be a hard fought series. I mean, we beat the shit out of them in the first game. I don't think every game will be like that. I would expect the games to be a lot tighter moving forward. But I think the Panthers absolutely beat the shit out of them in 5 games or less, 5 or less. And the Panthers punched their ticket to the third straight Stanley Cup final. And I don't give a damn if it's Edmonton again or the Dallas Stars. They're getting packed the fuck up too in 6 games, and the Panthers are going back to back. It's destiny. It's written in the stars. I've been saying it for the longest time. Panthers are going to win the Stanley Cup, and the Panthers will be a dynasty. So, for sure. South Florida stand up. Broward County, the whole South Florida. The whole South Florida is behind the Panthers. So, for sure. And damn near everybody in Team Leo is a Panthers fan. I got Eric Lances Jr. supporting the Panthers. I got my boy Johnny as a Panthers fan. I'm working on Fernando becoming a Panthers fan. We're working on getting Angelo Leo into hockey to become a Panthers fan. The Florida Panthers, Luis Hernandez, the other prospect in South Florida, he's a Panthers fan. The whole True School Sports Team Leo, we all support the greatest show on ice since Disney on Ice, the Florida Panthers, on winning another Stanley Cup. So yes. Shout out to the Panthers. Falling Star says, "Is it true how bad tourism is affecting Japan? Have you experienced BT? Have I experienced any bad tourism? I've seen a lot of foreigners do very bad things that are against Japanese cultural, like being loud on the train is the biggest one. Being loud on the train is you know a no go here in Japan. That's a big one. I've seen a lot of foreigners be loud on the train. I've had to tell people to shut the hell up on the train. I've seen just people not respecting the Japanese culture the way they should, and I hate that. Like even though I am a foreigner and I am in Japanese soil, like I have a lot of respect for this country and I had a lot of love for the people and the culture. So I try to as much as possible respect their culture, even if I don't like it or agree with something. It's common courtesy, you know. So yeah, I've experienced some things. The weigh-in is in 3 hours, and there will also be a broadcast live on Aviva TV. I'm looking forward to it. It seems that many Japanese YouTubers will also be live on the air. I hope both of them can clear the weigh-in. Yeah, Angelo will do his part. We'll see with Kameda. Yeah, we'll be there. Is there going to be a press conference today too? Yes, they're doing the weigh-in and the press conference on the same exact day. Yes, that is correct, Eric. And Reverse Lee says nothing can get me to watch hockey. You should, man. It's a great sport, especially the playoffs. If you don't watch the regular season, that's fine. Watch the playoffs, man. It's a lot. It's an amazing sport. You know, you get the finesse and the artistry of soccer, but then you also get the brutality of football. You know, on ice. You know, it's a great sport. And hockey players are the toughest athletes on earth, right next to like in team sports, and I would say that I'd put them right up there with fighters. Hockey players have a fighter's mentality, so I respect that a lot about hockey. It's great, and it's a great sport. Would you and Angela like to go to Universal Japan? That is Osaka after the fight. I didn't even know they had a Universal Studios in Japan and Osaka. So you put me on game. We have some places we want to go, but we're not really focused on that right now. We're focused on punching a fucking target to Tomoki Kameda and letting the rest of the featherweight division, letting these guys like Espinoza and Shushu and Ball and all these other dudes who have been doing a lot of talking, letting them know that hey, we here, and if you come in this room with Angelo Leo, we're not there to we're not there to put on a show, because see, a show is fake. This is the real fucking deal, and you're gonna find out. So tomorrow, we're sending a big message to the whole featherweight division, a bigger one than the Venado fight, you know, and I can't wait. I'm excited. We're gonna, Angelo don't do a whole lot of talking. You'll never catch him talking like this on camera, like how I'm talking, but he talks very loudly in that ring. Where did I get the Marlins jacket? I got it from this vintage store in Osaka. Um, there's this one store. I forgot the name of it, but I went to this vintage store in Osaka in 2023, and it's very close to where we're staying. So I got a Marlins shirt in there. I got some Jordan pants. They got a lot of good things in there. They got a lot of old school Marlins gear, Dolphins gear, Miami Heat. Charlotte Hornets. All the teams, really, all the teams. But guys, look, I think on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up because I have to go eat breakfast and get ready for the day ahead of me. But listen, it was a pleasure spending time with you guys over the last 2 hours. Thank you to everybody that contributed. Thank you for the one super chat I got. Thank you for just all the support we've been getting here in Japan. And guys, there will be content, so stay tuned. Keep a close eye on my YouTube shorts for more content. Keep a close eye on just my long form videos because I do have some videos scheduled to come out today as well that I already made yesterday about other things that are not Angelo Leo related. That those will be coming out. And then also stay tuned for other interviews. I do got an interview with Gary Jonas that I'm supposed to do. I'm gonna try to do it today, and then I want to try to get Kogi Kameda and probably some other guys on the undercard. So yeah, you guys take care. You be blessed. Thank you for all the support. I'm truly just living the dream right now, and I feel like I'm the most blessed guy in boxing. So look, I'll see you guys. The next live will probably be, I'm gonna say, maybe right after the Angelo fight or the next morning after. So expect one at least within 24 hours of the fight, you will get some sort of live after the fight. But until then, you guys take care, be blessed, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dang It. So until next time, take care, guys.